Oh, I've been muted this whole time. Great, mistakes already. Anyway, hi, I'm Rob Link. This is a great stream. We're here with Mystical Ninja again. Apologies for all the mess ups from last Friday. Let's jump in and get this started. I hope you enjoyed the beginning transition there. Ugh. So, uh, oh, it looks like we got an N64 malfunction. Fantastic. Don't worry. We're still alive. Oh, come on, console. There we go. Yeah, perfect. So this is a Konami game. As we'll play many of those on this channel at some point. Pretty sure that reads Goemon production team. Don't quote me on that. No, just sit back and watch this beautifulness. Yeah. So this is Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. I'm very excited to play this for the second time at the start, but I'm always excited to play this game. So let's give a little context first before I hit the start button. Let's get in here and delete our old file from last time, though. That definitely didn't happen. Little tidbits here and there, though. So we're on an actual N64. I finally have everything hooked up the way I want it. But not only N64 will be played here now that we have a semi-competent setup going. We will have a lot of things here in the future. Anything that could run through nice, crispy 240, I think 240i, 240p. Don't quote me on that. Nice, crispy S-video cables into the capture card that I have for now. We'll get something nicer later. But yeah, this N64 game, you'll notice, use control pack. What is that? It's this fat little thing. Some might call it a memory card. Wonder what country people call that in. Please don't sue me, Sony. Anyway, we're going to use Control Pack. It's one of the few N64 games that uses the Control Pack and or memory card, as it were. I'm not sure if that was Konami's own design choice, because that's just how they were working at the time. But anyway, let's roll. Sit back and watch this early cutscene before I start blabbering on about how much I love this game. So I hope the rain outside isn't too loud, by the way. It is nice and rainy here in sunny Southern California. Yeah, welcome back to old school, old-timey Japan. In full 3D as God intended. Or as Buddha intended? I don't know. Yeah, get out of my store. Never come again, you punks. Oh no. Hell yeah, he's taking his clothes off. What a great way to start a game when your main character is naked. I guess Bayonetta does that, but this ain't Bayonetta, this is 1997. Relatable. Whoa. And what do you know? A giant peach UFO is suddenly flying over Japan. Or as locals call it, this is Tuesday. Oh, they're about to Independence Day their asses. Get ready for the best villains in all the video games right here. Ooh, Mystery Man and Mystery Woman, how ominous. If only we couldn't see their faces. Yeah, historically accurate and also factual. Check the wiki page. Oh, there they go. Rip. Oh, they're not dead. They're just westernized? Question mark? What are the undertones in this game? We'll get to that. Man, onomatopoeia laughing does not transfer over as well in English as it does in Japanese. Oh no, Oedo Castle! The Lord's place again! We'll explain that in a minute. Hey, don't just sit around, follow me. Wait. I haven't changed yet. Man, I wish you could do the whole game with him naked like that. Well, naked except for his little loincloth, but... Oh, heck. Watch your language, Goemon. This is a all-ages stream. Anyway, he's ready. That's the first thing he says. Yeah. Alright, this is Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. This came out in 1997 on the N64. But before we get into little tidbits and stuff, let me just, as you can see, this is old-timey Japan. Let me just point out, though, that no matter how young or old Japan is, we're still all about the waifus. Look at it. Goemon has his waifu Omitsu on the wall over there. Look at that. Look at that. He loves it. Anyway, this is Goemon's house. Pretty nice house for savior of Japan. Yeah, so this is... Oof. This was only the second game in this series to come out stateside, or at least out of Japan. I don't know if this came out in Europe, actually. I'd have to check on that. I do have a giant N64 Bible on my bookshelf behind me. It has like every game in it. What do you got to say? UFO comes. There's huge commotion all over the place. So a newbie moving into the tenements. What? When's that? Sorry, even I don't know that. It's actually foreshadowing for something later. Anyway, this is actually the 13th game in this series. I did the math, by the way, before we start moving around more. I have my little notepad here with facts and other things written down. Yeah, this game is mainline game 13 with spin-offs at the time. I don't know what it adds up to, but yeah, this is so like in Japanese. The subtitle for this game is like Goemon versus the Peach Mountain Shoguns, I think is what it is. So at that point they were just giving it like Villain of the Week style subtitles. But as you saw, what's this guy gotta say? This is a warning from the messenger. If you're not going to save through the adventure diary at the inn, as long as you keep the adventure, as long as you keep an adventure diary, you can save all your adventures up to now. Gotta go. Thanks, friend. It's actually something we should do. Let me go save the guy. I think this is the inn. Yeah. But yeah, game number 13. That's pretty wild. The only game before this was on the Super Nintendo, and it was just called Legend of the Mystical Ninja. So this series is a like action slash kind of platformer slash kind of brawler sort of hybrid. And this is one of its first outings in 3D. So it draws a lot from, I mean, obviously Mario 64 was a game or developers, excuse me, drew a lot from at the time. So you got these big open sprawling towns here, which was always kind of a theme for more of the mainline Goemon games, but the games were usually split up into either, oh, we can't go this way yet, because those are gatekeepers who are blocking our path. What do you have to say? So Edo Town, it's where the real Edo people live. There you go, in case you didn't know. By the way, that girl Umitsu that Goemon had on his wall, I think she's over here. Yeah, she's just our homie. She's a recurring character in the series, by the way. So just remember her for later. Yes, a flying saucer. All these old people, or these old-timey Japan people, just all seem to know what a flying saucer is, so you explain that to me. But yeah, okay, let me focus. Game 13. So, yeah, action platformer, kind of brawler hybrid, like with mild RPG elements too. Just a lot of inspiration from games like Zelda, but still doing its own thing. And obviously big, like old-timey, like historical Japan farce / influences. But the games, at least the older games, are split up between segments where you roam around town like this. You find out what you're supposed to do next. I know this game like the back of my hand, so I won't be stopping to talk to everyone. Sometimes NPCs have really funny and interestingly translated dialogue, so we'll try and talk to people, but I don't want it to be too slow. And we'll go over this game's many features as we go along. But before we head over to an adventure field area out over here, we are going to go to the fortune teller. As someone, I don't think we talked to. No, they said go to the safe point. Anyway, so I'm just going to stand here while this sultry music plays. Let me just plan it in your head. So not just with that like anime-ass opening we had, but so I was about maybe 7 when I first played this game. 6, 7 years old. Rented it out of the video store, and at that point I had seen anime. I didn't know it was anime, but I'd seen like some anime and like definitely played games from Japan. But let's lay this on you guys. Welcome to the fortune teller. Hell yeah, plasma. So this guy, for a few bucks, will tell you where to go next in the game if you get lost, as sprawling as the game can be. So it's not a complete, make the game easy mode. You still have to go do it all yourself, but our goal right now is to enter Oedo Castle, but the bridge to the castle has been blocked, so we need to go climb Mount Fuji itself, and someone there will help us. Anyway, just look at this fortune teller man, though. He's just balling out. He's got dancers. He's got a giant voodoo doll that he just sits on. You know, what else do you need? This game is Japanese as fuck. And this is one of the first times where, like, I sat down and played a game and was just like, what you got going on over there, Japan? What you got going on? Looks cool. I want more. But yeah, this game very heavy in multiple levels and its Japanese influences. But as you can see now, we are in what is they call an adventure field. So a place kind of like a Zelda in that regard. There's actually a lot of things that are Zelda-esque in here. You'll notice the hearts in the bottom. You have, it shows you up to 20 you can have, even though Zelda doesn't show you that. That's like the traditional number for how high your hearts can get in here. And you actually collect quote-unquote not heart containers in this game. They're lucky cat dolls, and those raise your health. And you also have items you can upgrade. We'll talk about those in a minute, but we stopped here so we can get a map from this guy, I think. No, it's the guy behind me. Oh yeah, they said this guy Impact. He's a big star. He's going to be in a movie. He's a model of the American dream. We'll talk a lot about that later. Yeah, this travel merchant guy. You're a traveler. I'd check a map of Japan. Yes, I would. Sell it to you for a discount. How about it? Yes, I really want it. So these little coffee shops are just everywhere. Sometimes there's people in them who give you helpful things. Other times, but it's good to visit them. The NPCs always have nice things to say. But yeah, just in case you were wondering how historically accurate this game is, let me go outside first, because for some reason you can't pause inside a coffee shop. We got our menu here with our friend Ebisu as well, who we'll talk about him in a second. You got your weapons, so Goemon uses a pipe, and he throws money because that's just how much of a baller he is. Really, the pipe is all you really need for him. He gets a weapon when you get in a little bit, will be long range. But Ebisu uses a hammer and other things, and we have two mystery characters, as you may have seen in the intro that we'll get later. But hey, just in case you were wondering, we're in Japan. We're here. And we're about to climb Mount Fuji. Historically accurate, geographically accurate. What else you want? But yeah, so then you can switch between weapons on the fly, which is nice. You don't really need to go around equipping things, so it's much easier than something like Zelda, which has a lot more mild inventory management. Then also, one of the unique features about this game, and other games in the series too, is that you have multiple characters to play as. This game, at least to my knowledge, was one of the first to incorporate them all in one go. So here's Goemon. If you press down on the C buttons, then you get Ebisu here. And while Goemon is supposed to be like an homage to a character from Japanese folklore / history, Ebisu is supposed to be a self-insert of the game designer, and that's my favorite thing ever. Because look at him, he's this nice, thick, portly man. He's not, you know, some super buff-ass ninja like Ryu Hayabusa Naruto insert. Nah, he's just like, I'm just chubby game developer, man, and I wanted to put myself inside my game, and man, he's the best. Look at him, he doesn't even crawl traditionally. He gets on his back, and he just, like, unfucks the earth. I don't know. Anyway, get away from me. But we're gonna switch back to Goemon though, 'cause he's a little smoother in the beginning until Ebisu gets some of his other items. You can play as whoever you want. There's no limit. But each of the characters has different special tools they use. So a tool we're gonna get right now for Goemon is his chain pipe, which, by the way, if you have eagle eyes, like I'm sure a lot of you out there do, yes, that is a pipe that you can smoke out of. So everyone, if you're in California, toke up now, or if you're in Colorado, I don't know, do your thing. This game is obviously encouraging that, but it's part of the character's old folklore design. Go look it up. I'm sure there are documents and plenty of lore and knowledge out there that could describe it way better than I could. But as you've seen me do so far, we're not going to go for 100%, because you do get something which I already have unlocked for 100%, but these little cat dolls, they are what increase your strength gauge, as they call it in here, but it's just your life. One of many things about this game, though, so since the first time since this was the first time, the ultimate Mary Sue character. I know, right? Goemon probably is the Mary Sue character of this universe. But one of many things of this game, so you'll notice, again, this is, you know, big 3D open, well, big for the time, for 1997, 3D open platformer, maybe not as high on the finesse level as, like, all the tricks you can do in Mario 64, or maybe not all the depth that Ocarina of Time had, even though this game dates Ocarina of Time by almost like a year, I want to say. So there's little things like dungeon design and other things that this game was kind of doing first. It's kind of neat to see. I mean, obviously Link to the Past and other games existed before this, so, you know, inspiration draws some inspiration, but still. This game is a little bit of an outlier. So back to how many games there were a bunch of games on the NES, a lot on the Super Nintendo, like at least 4 or 5, including some spin-offs. And then finally, though, for whatever reason, it was the N64 where they really tried to push this series here. We got this game, another game called Goemon's Great Adventure, which I'll talk about that in a second, and then a game on the Game Boy as well. And then that was it for Goemon in the West. I think Great Adventure... Also, we're climbing Mount Fuji, by the way, just walking in and out. These convenient paths that someone put here. But yeah, excuse me, having a lot of brain farts as usual. No, we didn't really get much Goemon after that. And while everyone gives Konami a really hard time these days, and with I think mild good reason, I still, back in the day though, the last major Goemon game we got was maybe like around 2005, and then we got some games that made us realize we were in patchy slot hell. So there's that. But yeah, the last major Goemon game was on the like an early DS game, and it came out in like 2005, I think, and then that was kind of it. But by then we had, as my notes say, 34 games. 34? I don't know. Yeah, we had 34 games from the series, which is a lot for anything at that point. I mean, even Mega Man was probably hardly stacking up that high. Actually, that's not true. Mega Man was probably close, but other more storied series, you know, that's a big number for anyone. But I don't know if Konami just felt the series wasn't performing as well as others at that point, or if they just didn't have faith in it anymore. But it was definitely a series that was always more popular in Japan. But I'm thankful for the games that we did get, because this especially, like I said earlier, how it really made me say like, hey, whoa, Japan, what you got going on there? Oh, by the way, these little dumplings I'm picking up are little health drops. So the gold ones give you 3 bars, or 3 pips, full hearts, and then like the regular color, like pink, green, white ones give you 1. Anyway, we have climbed the top of Mount Fuji, so you know, just like real life, it only takes about 5 minutes. But we're just gonna visit our friend who lives up here before we keep blabbering on about the game. Anyway, welcome to our boy Mokube's house. He's doing God knows what up here, but he's impressed we made it this far. So what are you doing here, though, man? Oh, he's making pipes on a mountain. What's he doing? I've come to the greatest mountain in Japan so that I can train to become the greatest worker in Japan. That's a Japanese work ethic. He's impressed that he made it up this far, and then what do we want? We want a good pipe. We're trying to smoke the good stuff, man. Let me think. Let's see. Yes, I know. Take this. Block with star marks. So yeah, this is pretty early on here, but this is this game's version of the like a hook shot. And you'll notice I am bobbing my head a lot. This game has a funky-ass soundtrack. It is amazing. Making pipes on a mountain, living his best life. Honestly, that's what we should all aspire to. Find your one skill and just do it. Anyway, so you can always turn the map on the top left there, but sometimes it can be a little evasive. I just did it so we can see the gate that we're going to leave out of. But anyway, so this nice view. Look at the delicious N64 skybox. The whole world is at our fingertips as it rotates around a hexagonal plane. And there goes our camera. Anyway, also no camera controls. They're kind of at the mercy of auto-turning camera, but thankfully I know this game. Anyway, we're going to get off a mountain the only way you should, and that's to jump off. Whee! And then you just belly slide down Mario 3 style. Lovely. And of course, Goemon being a super tactical ninja is totally unscathed. Anyway, for anyone who has shown up in the meantime, welcome. This is Mystical Ninja, and I hope you're in for a nice and cozy Tuesday night stream. Hope everyone has had a good day. It's my first time streaming during the week, by the way. I figured, you know what, I really need to... I was just itching to do this better. Thankfully, my boy, for anyone who wants some hot and spicy League of Legends streams, go follow my boy, Mr. Veggie Smuggler. That's Veggie_Smuggler over on Twitch. He was very kind. Late at night Friday, he helped me iron out a lot of the kinks, and I think everything in my stream should be going pretty smoothly. Again, speak up if there's any issues, but so far everything on my end seems to be way better. All the kinks ironed out. I also find out, for some reason, apparently my streaming client was like a beta version of the streaming client. I don't know how that happened. So I went from version 0.9 something to version 20.1 something. So I think we'll be okay for a while. Anyway, we're back in town. So while this game isn't completely linear, it kind of railroads you at some points. Like, there's that big open area we went to back there, but we will almost never go back there except for one or two other points where we need to go. Loads better than Friday. Oh, thank heavens. Good. Wonderful. As my viewers all deserve. Anyone planning to cause trouble will fall victim to atomic stick. These NPCs, they sure have a lot to say. I'm in love with this Thundergate. Why don't we start a society for the Thundergate? So this is just like a giant ceremonial gate here, which it almost means nothing if you can't read those kanji. And unfortunately, I can't read those kanji either, so let's just keep walking. Oh, that's a thief. Come back. Oh, thank heaven. So I was lucky enough in that I know how the angles in this game work. And that guy is unfortunately not your friend. He just comes and steals your money, but I got him back. I could explore the town a little more, but there's not too much else to do. We want to go here, because that's how we get to the castle. On my notepad, though, let me see. Games. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about terms of this series' history. Just that there were a lot of games we never got, but the ones we did really left an impact on me. So yeah, the town just loops at this point. And at some point I might look at Goemon's Great Adventure, but I've admittedly never beaten that game. So the gameplay style, though, that's something I mentioned. This game is a little unique in how it plays, and it's also kind of easy. Once you get a feel for how the game works and how your movement works, and even the fact that, so you'll see Goemon has lives down there. So if you happen to lose all your health, especially after you start getting a few heart containers or lucky cats, and build up your health more, you kind of have it easy. There's not too many instances once you figure out how to play the game where you'll find yourself dying a lot. You might find yourself falling into a few holes and pits and where there's some kind of stiff platforming section, because I feel like Goemon's jump isn't super satisfying. It's not like Mario or anything. Like, his jump is nice. It's a little smoother. Ebisu's is a little stiffer as well. But a lot of the movement in here definitely feels a little stiff, and you can tell they were trying to iron out some kinks. Definitely not as ideal as it could be, but it still works. Like, see right there, I just kind of dodged that angle, and now we have to swim back over. That's fine. Later, though, we do get a character whose special power is turning into a mermaid, though. So, just wait for that, and swimming gets way faster. But that being said, so this game, yeah, it's a lot easier, I'll say, than some of the other Goemon games, but sometimes the pacing can be a little weird. So right now, obviously, our goal is just to go save the local Oedo castle, or Oedo town castle from the attack that it just suffered from these crazy peach UFO guys. Also stopping for a minute to just acknowledge this hill climbing music. Yeah. This game's soundtrack is amazing. It's got really catchy tunes, and I'm always angry of the fact that I just don't know the composer's name for this game. I've looked it up several times, and I just forget it. Because I know he worked a lot on... I forget if it's a male or female, but they worked a lot on this series as a whole. The tracks are just great. It's a lot of banging tunes. But let me see. Conveniently, there's a save point right outside the main first dungeon that we're about to go to. So yeah, even though we've been at this for like a half hour so far, I'm already at the first dungeon. That's what I meant a second ago when I said pacing. This game is paced kind of funny. It's not bad, but it's a little front-loaded, and then the middle sections are kind of weird, and then it's very back-loaded. It's all a fun ride, but it's interesting to say the least. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to mention before we go in. Not really. Just enjoy the dungeon and keep your eyes peeled for all those Zelda parallels you might see in here. So this is the transformed Oedo Castle, as it were, with a bunch of money just scattered about in the beginning, because, you know, when you aspire to own a castle and then just create it and build it and create your whole town and economy around it, the place I would want to keep my money is in the front. So when people walk in, they don't see my Van Gogh paintings, they don't see my giant video game collection, they see just pots full of money just making the power moves right there. Like, hey friends, take some. Thank you for coming. So you see locks on doors are obviously very Zelda, very just general dungeon design for the time. But there's obviously platforming segments involved as well. You also notice too, for anyone who tries to play this game, I'm jumping and then kind of using the chain pipe before I go out. That's because sometimes it takes a second to load out. So see, you can see the end ball at the end of it kind of going out. It kind of works more like a rubber band. It's not instant, so you really have to time your jumps with it. It's pretty easy to get the timing up, but it's something that kind of helps me hit the jumps and be a little more loose in how I actually like start my jump up too. So let's see. Oh, speaking of music, as it was a second ago, the music in this, I guess, dungeon, castle, however you want to describe it, I forget what they called it specifically in this game. The music, aside from just generally being great and catchy, something that I really love, more like a music nerd kind of a thing, is, so in all of the dungeons, you'll hear it more in later ones. Maybe we'll get to a second one tonight, I'm not sure. But in all of the dungeons, the music tracks layer on each other. What I mean by that is, so about halfway through this dungeon, you're going to hear a point. I think I know what room it happens in, so I'll be able to point it out to let you guys know. But you will hear more of an in-depth instrumentation. Like you'll hear drums come in, and I think an extra guitar in the background. But the music ramps up and gets a little more intense to kind of build up that feel of like, ooh, we're getting farther in this dungeon now. Like things are about to get crazy. The boss music is obviously its own unique track, but I always thought was a very cool thing. Because like Zelda doesn't do that, Mario doesn't do that, other RPGs don't even do that. Actually, that's not true. Some RPGs probably do that, but this game specifically always stuck with me in how it really builds the music up. I think that's just a really unique composition choice. Not something that a lot of games even do nowadays. Like there's music that builds up. I think a series, or at least developers that try and do that, or a game specifically that comes to mind. Technically another Konami game, even though Platinum Games made it, is Metal Gear Rising. A lot of the boss fights in that game, they have dynamic music that changes like as segments in the fights go on. So that's definitely something that's always cool. Good sound design is always something I will praise and acknowledge. Also, let's see, these enemy choices, these little robot like dress dolls that almost have like Daruma faces. I don't understand. These Peach Mountain guys, they're real interesting guys. It's just their aesthetic, I guess. I don't know, they want to invade old-time Japan, but they've got like this like European/Russian set. I don't know. Watch out, the floor is gonna attack us. Oh no! And don't get your castle zapped by a giant UFO. To be able to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night without the floor hitting you in the face. Was this the way I was supposed to go? So you'll kind of notice in the background too that big fence here that's blocking off this statuesque looking thing. Look at these giant stone feet. What could those be? We'll get to that. Just remember giant stone golem feet for a second. Because the game's camera, unfortunately, does not complement it well. That's why I'm jumping like a crazy person that you guys see. But just remember the giant stone golem feat. That will hopefully... hopefully reward you for paying attention later. Ah, get away. Oh, sick dodges from me. The enemies do get a little more varied as you go along, too. It's not just this early enemy set here. I think this is just the one they chose for this castle to kind of establish, like, the basic look of the goons for these Peach Mountain fellows. So you'll notice the different key colors, too. There's silver keys, gold keys, and I think diamond keys, if I remember them correctly. I'm trying to remember. I haven't read the instruction booklet for this game in a hot minute. It's something I'm actually kind of disappointed that I don't have. I'd like to get a copy someday. I mean, buying boxed games for cartridge systems in general is just something I've not always been into. Just because that you can, like, if you buy a game for, like, I don't know, or any console that uses discs, right? It's like a PlayStation, PS2, whatever. Buying a game with or without the case, the price usually doesn't vary too much. But then when you look into buying games on cartridge-based consoles, though, because of how much easier it is to take care of cartridges, the price jumps a lot. So much to the point that it usually isn't worth it for me to go back and try and like grab a box and maybe a manual. But manuals are usually easier to find, though. So at some point I would like to get the manual to this game, but the reason I bring the manual up, aside from the little lore tidbits that I gave you, is that there are actual things in the manual as far as like gameplay features that this game never takes a minute to explain. And if you don't take time to read the manual, you're not gonna know that, oh, okay, this is where the music is gonna start ramping up. Listen to the more intense drums coming in, it's great. It's even better in later dungeons too, because there's like 3-part layering that comes in. I also love these little dumpling enemies. I don't know what they are except just little stopgaps here to make you jump, but cute. Oh gosh, I'm just getting shot at every angle. But yeah, no, the music in this game in general, as well as the dungeon music, is fantastic. I really wish more games did interesting sound design like this. I'd say it's a, what do the kids say now? I'd say it's a pretty big flex for the N64. No, am I gonna get banned on Twitch for saying that? Oh no. Oof. Yeah, do that stiff platforming, Goemon. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, we picked up a little friend as I was talking about other things in that giant room with the pool. Our friend that gives us the map is a friend named Mr. Elephant. It's a great pun. That warmed my insides as a child when I realized what they were doing with the play on words there. Anyway, collecting more cat dolls. We probably won't go for 100% because I already have the unlocked the unlocked special thing I'll show you guys at the end of the game. Because I don't even think you get, like, you just get a screen at the end that just says congratulations for getting all the dolls, but you get a nice little unlockable at the end, which I'll explain. Anyway, anyone in the chat who has actually ever played any game in this series or even seen it, feel free to sound off and share your memories on it as well. Because I have friends who have told me about this game over time and said, oh yeah, I remember renting that, I remember seeing that, but it's definitely a series that is very long forgotten and generally not very well known here in the States. And as far as, let's see, getting your own copies of it, so I mean, I've had this since I got it back in the day from my old video store, or I think I got this off my Hollywood video when it was getting rid of their N64 games, a long time ago. Also, giant stone golem hands again. Just blocking our view. Nothing to see here. Wonder what it could all mean. But yeah, so trying to get a copy of this game. Not terribly hard, but N64 collecting has, I'd say, been mildly on the rise in the last few years as far as prices. And I think that's because, I mean, people my age, so what, I'm 27, people in like my age gap, you know, like 3 or 4 years younger, 3 or 4 years older maybe even, we've all generally got our nice little disposable incomes and we can grab up the games we want, but that means more people trying to grab games, less games available. This one used to be a little cheaper than Goemon's Great Adventure, the second one, but this one is also, from what I've seen, kind of started to go up in price too. I want to say it's maybe like a $40 game, and I don't think it ever got a port to the Wii Virtual Console. I'd have to double check on that, but I don't recall that because I probably would have downloaded it if it had that. And this is just our friend Mr. Arrow down here, and he points to where the boss is. And I think... No, wait, there's not really any treasure in this game. Just dungeons to progress through. But, yeah, so... Also, the reason I opted for playing on original hardware is, one, I've always wanted to stream from original hardware, though I appreciate a stream that can, like, have max res, and there are upscalers available for N64 and other systems that I would like to look into at some point. Ooh, look at this giant stone torso right here. Look at how ripped this golem is. I wonder what this is foreshadowing. Yeah, someday I could invest in an N64 or a general, like, older video format upscaler. That would cost a bit. I think something I'm more concerned about buying now is just a general HDMI capture card device, which might buy myself that for my birthday or even next month. But I was thinking of buying a better mic next month. So I think I have the settings tool to this mic. Okay. But anyway. As far as capturing on original hardware, I chose to set that up for two reasons. One, because I kind of prefer that. I'd like to show off these games in their most original state. That might be how I know how to play them best, but it also just, I think it's a good way for showing off how these games might have looked when you rented them as a kid, or how I rented them when I was a kid anyway. But also it's because when it comes to, well, newer, quote-unquote, since this is, what, like 22 years old now? Yuck. Hold on, I'm going to go up this cool little elevator that looks like a bed in a second, but let me finish my thought. When it comes to newer consoles, when you get past like the Super Nintendo and Genesis, emulation kind of gets rough. Like N64 emulation is spotty. I emulated Star Fox, or I mean, I used my super high-tech HD N64. But yeah, I emulated Star Fox even though I own the game because I wanted to see how that worked. And that game works fine, but this game craps itself during the like intro sequences and like loading skyboxes in some areas, and apparently it just emulates poorly. But okay, hold on a second. We got this sick cutscene right here. Oh, we got bad guy henchmen. So, I was sure I heard some. No, I'm not gonna voice them all. What the? Just listen closely for something really nice. Beautiful stage, huh? Yeah, grab all the weirdos in your life by the throat and beat them up a bit. That's what this game's telling you to do. Yes! I love the laugh track. I don't... That's my favorite thing. Like, what other game has a laugh track? And then the applause track at the end. Yeah, look at it for the stage play. What is this game? And you can just go back down the elevator, I think, too. But we're not going to do that. And you got this sick opening gates. But anyway, yeah. Emulation kind of is poo for later systems, unless you really tool things up. And that would probably also mean that if I were to emulate even stronger systems, like GameCube or PS2, then I would need to get a second PC to stream from, to be the streaming PC or streaming laptop. So anyway, for right now, original hardware is where I'm at. Because it lets me show off my collection as well as gives you guys, I think, what I would consider an authentic viewpoint, as it were. So hopefully things look nice. Anyway, let's go fight this boss. I've been alluding to a giant stone golem, so what do we fight? Its head. King Robot Congo. Overall, a pretty easy boss fight. You just hit him in the big red face pimple. Big red glowing face pimple, or whatever it's supposed to be. Don't worry, not all the bosses actually have such an obvious, simple weak point. But it's the first boss in the game, and it's also the first dungeon, which comes kind of early. So a lot of it's just dodging his moves on this super shaky screen. Listen to this intense-ass music, it's great. I can use the chain pipe if I want. Just don't get burned by it. The angle's just a little hard to hit him with the chain pipe. Ooh. And not all the bosses are fought in a room with this weird fixed camera angle either. I think that was just kind of the design choice for the dungeon, again, to go along with what we saw earlier, like how his giant meaty stone hands and body were just placed all through the castle. So I think what it's implying is that when they zapped the castle, not only did they change it to this like almost weird like western looking aesthetic in some parts on the outside, but also they just zapped this giant stone robot inside. Something like if you woke up one day and then they just like Gulliver's Travel to your house, basically. I don't know. Anyone read Gulliver's Travels in middle school? It was a weird book. Anyway, for anyone who's just tuned in, welcome to Goemon Boss Fights. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday evening. How y'all doing? Oh, come on, mister. This is a man with a near indestructible chin. Unfortunately, all mine does is grow a scruffy beard. You should get him on this cycle through. Come on, Goemon. There we go. Oh. I always love the explosion sound in this game, by the way. Yeah, and then we got this weird symbol, which we will find out more about later. It's no Triforce. We got the Miracle Moon. Excuse me. And there you go. Let's find out what happened to our the Lord of the Land and his daughter, the princess. We're safe now, thanks to you. What has become of Oedo Castle? Bright light, and next thing I knew, well, look around you. Peach Beam, huh? Sounds like Peach's Final Smash name. Instant Stage Beam? Strange name indeed. Yeah, where'd the weirdo go? And now we're off on our quest. Gotta catch the guys who did this to the castle. Give me a break. This is my 13th game. Yeah, of course we're gonna do it. Can't let anyone do something like this and get away with it. And then earlier I accidentally ran into some gatekeepers who we'll talk to now. Now we get the Lord Super Pass. Yeah. One of my favorite item jingles right there. And then because he's the Lord of the Land, he can, of course, save our adventure diary. So let's go. Well, there you go. That's the first dungeon in this game. It'll be a hot minute. We might end on the second one. But then we get dropped off right back out front because that's just how it be in Ninja Land. Anyway, but that's our quest now, is to go stop these Peach Mountain invaders and their instant stage beams. Overall, a pretty normal quest line for Goemon. I think the quest in the, or at least like the main plot in as riveting as Goemon main plots are in the other N64 one, which we'll talk about that in a second too. Now that I'm on it, but the plot in that game is that they accidentally woke up some ghost. And the ghost looks kind of like Ebisu. It's like one of his descendants or like his forefathers or something. And they're trying to like use this evil like pot to revive a demon. It's stuff like that. It's really goofy. I was planning to go to the northeast region just east of Musashi. Someone left a metal chest in the middle of the road, making it impossible to pass. Oh, we'll see that in a minute actually. So before we go, I think I'd like to just point out, get away. Get away, Mr. Thief Man. No, I'd like to point out, so, the Lord and his daughter, where did they move to? Let's go look around it. Oh wait, what does this guy have to say? Well, okay, the joke is that they moved into Goemon's house, but I am... Wait, where's this house? This is the one with the giant goal on the door, right? Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, I guess because their house just... The whole castle is just invaded. They just live in your house now. This was all, I'll be staying at your place, Goemon. Don't worry, I'll do the dishes. And what does Princess Yuki have to say? Living in the real world is so exciting, and the dumplings at the coffee shop are so delicious. I should go get the recipe, yeah. You still got your waifus on the wall. Because why not? Oh, anyway. Okay, I don't think there's too much else we really need to do in town right now. What's everyone got to say? You come down. The new person can move in without any worry. Yeah, so there's another new person that'll move in here that we'll come to later. Let me go grab this free money. What does it say? Goemon tenements? Wait, so does that imply this is all like his house and he's the landlord? I mean, I guess after 13 games and staying in Japan, all people know him. With like Goemon's house, I couldn't believe it. I don't know. Anyway, let's roll out. So we are headed off this way to leave Oedo Town pretty much and get to some bigger points of exploration. Oh, these are the guards right here. They've got great things to say. Oh my God, this is the Lord Super Pass. But you gotta talk to them before you leave town, because they say the darndest things. Alright, so this guy over here, he's got to say, that's it for us. If only the title to this game was Starring Gatekeeper rather than Starring Goemon, then we'd have a lot more fun. Oh. And then we'll just keep standing here until you clear the game. Kind of painful, kind of depressing. Yeah, just get real meta on you there. So we got this nice coastal area, which notice the music just kind of drops out. This isn't a game bug, it's just kind of... Aside from the giant, awkward enemy explosions, you're just kind of chilling here on the coast. I've never known why they chose not to put any music in. I like it, but I also think it's kind of strange. Anyway, so there's this fence here, and we clearly cannot... It's supposed to kind of bait you into thinking, oh, you can go here, but you can't. So, earlier, that NPC we actually had kind of give us a hint, was talking about this middle box right here. We need to upgrade Goemon, specifically later. He will get a power-up that lets him move metal boxes like that. Ebisu also gets a power-up. We'll get his soon, actually. He's, I think, the first that we get. And then the other two characters you unlock also get power-ups. Everyone starts to get their upgrades a lot quicker. Let's see, just good luck. And I think there's one or two upgrades you can miss, technically, but most of the major ones are like part of the main plot for the game. And here's this creepy old tunnel. We hear nothing but footsteps and then the explosions of these little toy robots. Anyway, the silence has now ended. Thankfully. I love the soundtrack to this game. If I haven't said it enough. We'll eventually get to the next major set of areas we're getting to. Will give us new tracks and new bangers to play as the night goes on. But anyway, what we're coming up on right now as we climb the side of this mountain hill, or at least the side of this big hill, is one of the most contrasting things I've ever seen in a video game. So far we've done dungeons, we've gone through old-timey Japan, right? We're chilling, we're chilling. You know, nothing too crazy. It all kind of fits the aesthetic, aside from the giant UFOs, right? Well, what's down here? Okay, it's just money, right? Please excuse the back of this mountain. It totally exists. You just can't see it as the wall clips through it. But yeah, so far things have been pretty chill. You know, there's little robots and these weirdo guys taking over the town, but you know, playing as Goemon, doing some dungeons, going around. We're having a good old time, right? But what we're about to do now is have one of the most contrasting moments in video games ever. Before we do that and walk down this road up here in this very beautifully modeled field of flowers that totally isn't just flat, let's have a look at this nice N64 sunset skybox. Yeah, beautiful. That's the good stuff. That's what you want. Hope that means that everyone else is also having a beautiful night. And then, if it's not raining where you are, well then, enjoy your nice cool evening. It's raining here, so anyway, let's head out. So our goal right now, I see that big old house in the distance. There's someone there that's supposed to help us. His name is the Wise Man, actually. An NPC or two will tell us that. But we're supposed to go to him, and he can kind of help us figure out where to go next. So, anyway, we got this cutscene here. Going to the Wise... Oh, no! Well, I guess we're not going to the Wise Man's house. Oh. There you go. Yeah, so they just, like, nuked the Wise Man's house, basically. He's also a reoccurring character, by the way. Except for this game, he dies. He's just completely dead. Everything except his lucky conch shell. Ooh, see this? It's the Triton shell that summons gigantic robots impact. Wiseman had it. And so is this the rubble? Oh, is this rubble all that remains of Wiseman's house? Ooh, I am extremely Lizdexic tonight. Oh, our friend is back. Oh my god! You're the weirdo from Oedo Castle. How senseless can you be, you weirdo? That's how you drive it in. Make the text like 3 font sizes bigger, and then make it flash. It's not nice to call people names. I'm gonna crush you with my robot. Well, guess you know what it's time to do. First, we should save the game, though. Always save your game before giant robot. Yes! Pacific Rim time. Jaeger up, Goemon. Get ready for what is quite possibly one of my favorite sequences in anything video game related. Like Wonderful 101, eat your heart out. Yeah! The robot's got his same stupid face! It's so good! So earlier, when I said, you know, Japan, what you got going on over there? Like, what other game? I mean, there's plenty of other games now, but like, 1997? What other game was giving you, like, robot henshin sequences like this? Like, nothing. Nothing else. I love the face. The face is so dumb. And make his head spin. Woo! Get hype. Also, that last line was really poorly translated. It just said, I am gorgeous Impact, not I'm the best Impact. But I would love to meet the team that translated this game or had to localize this. Anyways, these are the Impact robot stages. I don't even think my stream got this far the other night. But thankfully it has now. It seems everything's been going great. This is around right when things were actually starting to crap out, it seems. So, Redemption, though. These are always the hypest. So, you have to try and destroy these enemies down the infinitely long highways of Japan here. Your goal right now is to try and get the energy gauge and your money gauge on the left to fill up. You get more points the more stuff you destroy. It's just kind of a build-up, and we'll see what it's building up towards in a second. I am jumping at several points too because there are holes in the ground, as well as bridges that can either trip you up or just let you fall down them. I don't think you do anything but lose a little bit of your like energy at the bottom there. That's about it. Or bottom, excuse me, top. But if you jump on the bridges, like land down when you come down on them, then you're pretty good. Also, that's a separate money gauge from your main money gauge, thankfully. Ooh, let's go. Onto the Pacific Rim highways in Japan. Oh, but his robot looks so much cooler. Wartime Kabuki robot, Kashiwagi. And now we are in thrilling first-person VR mech battle mode. Like, this game. Okay, so Impact does a lot of things. Your B and A buttons kind of do Tekken style, in which they control his left and right punches. Your R button does chain pipe, and then your Z trigger lets you move the shooter. So sometimes you can take hits from him like that, and you're supposed to throw out combos. But you'll see the glowing bars in the middle. If I do a button combination, it's moving really fast. That's how you gotta be. But if you throw out a C button combination, so you go clockwise, up, right, down, left, and then press Z, then you shoot your giant super laser like that, and you get the cool cutscene. Your goal is obviously to deplete all his health at the top, or his the enemy energy. Punching all the different things that get thrown at you gives you money, and that's how you get your energy gauge to go up. And punching punching the enemy mech will always, ooh, missed it. Jump right out of the way. Punching also, or just punching in general, build up your gauge. Not by much, but it does build it up. And then you'll also notice, let's see, so on the bottom left you have your how much money you have. Oil is my health. I have a decent amount right now. The enemies usually always have more. Let me see if I'm missing anything. So earlier I mentioned the instruction booklet, right, and not telling you things. So all the robot combos in this game are in the instruction booklet. Like, see how we just jumped right into this scene here? There was no introduction. No, like, here's how to play Impact mode, right? As much as I love the contrast, and, like, while this is... Like one of the most iconic parts of this game for me, excuse me. By the way, so, oh god. Okay, so this is his weird, like, peach beam, but I can just make it null and void if I shoot my laser right through it. But yeah, one of the definite, I think, kind of flaws of the game is this big, somewhat complex mode, where it's like the rest of the game, you can figure this out. Not too many first-person mech fighting games back in 1997. Hold on a second. So knowing all the combos and knowing how to make this like look easy, you kind of need the instruction booklet for it. And of course now you can look up the movesets online, so it's not a big deal. Like I have them all more or less memorized. A lot of it's just like punch combos. So you have like his left hand is like his light punch and his right hand is just kind of a heavier punch. And then you can get the kick to come out sometime. There's something you can do with the... Oh god. There's something you can do with the hook shot here, but I am always like stuck on how... Oh, let me just kill him off with the laser. Should be done after this. But yeah, I always forget you like hook him and then you reel him in, I think? But anyway, we'll try the next time we get to one of these guys. But yeah, that's the first... Technically the real end of the first dungeon, I'd like to say. So you do the whole dungeon, you do the boss, but then you get your giant Power Ranger Pacific Rim mech battle. And this is when I was forever sold on this game. That's what you want standing over your giant flaming wreckage. Yeah. And a title drop! Fucking title drop. So strong. Later, and the robot talks to you too. He's sentient. I have to get moving. We're filming a movie. If you remember the lady at the coffee shop earlier, she said something about impact and the American dream. Yeah, he's just a giant film star in America. If you need me again, call me. Later, nerds. Yeah, and then wish to save the game, of course. See, that's impact mode. That is like the full breadth of what you do in this game. Yeah, and now the game starts. No, for real. Like that was all just a prologue. Like sick ass 1 hour prologue. No, it's wonderful. But yeah, a definite flaw for sure is not giving you like I don't even think there's like a sign in the game somewhere or like before this path that conveniently would tell you like, oh, here's how you use it like impact mode, and then you can't pause during impact mode. I think. Or I think you can pause, but it's just a pause screen. It's not like a pause and then move list like Kirby or something. Or any fighting game. But yeah, let me take a sip here. Yeah, that's the good stuff. But now we go to, well, hold on. I'll walk ahead in a second. Cutscenes about the trigger. But yeah, the game now gets kind of like middle loaded. So like we were front loaded, but like not middle loaded, but like evens out in the middle. Because we did a lot. We did a dungeon, we did an impact fight, and we kind of saw like, you know, here's how you go around and get weapons. Here's like the game cycle. But it's actually going to be a hot minute before we get another impact fight. But anyway, let's go. Before Goemon starts grimacing at us. Ooh. So it was you guys. Yeah. Yay. This is another one of your friends. She's got a great theme too. Only bring in ninjas on your team that are hot girls with green hair and purple suits. And then we've got just a narrator that's, okay, in order to defend the peace of Japan, secret ninja agent Yae has begun to investigate the strange occurrences happening throughout Japan. They're thought to be caused by the mysterious Flake Gang. Now we've got a lore dump. I forgot about this. And did you find anything out about the Flake Gang? Well, all I found out was that there are several members who call themselves the Peach Mountain Shoguns. Peach Mountain? Huh. I don't care if we're talking about Peach Mountain or Chestnut Mountain. Or even hey, I want to go to Pear Mountain. Pear is great. This stream not sponsored by Ace Pear Cider, but I wish it was. That stuff is delicious. Better be ready, because I'm going to kick their butts. So now we've kind of got our plot rolling here a little bit. And then our objectives are all the same. So we should join forces. Yeah, we got our first new party member. And that's always fun. So I'll be playing as Ebisu here in a bit. Don't worry, I'm not leaving him out yet. Our sick old friend who like crawls on his back. What a hero. But no, we got Yai now, who crawls like Solid Snake and fights with a sick-ass katana. She also has no other items at the moment, but we'll use her because we actually need her for something later in this career. This is Zazen or Zazen town. This is actually like more of the hub town of this game, I would say. You'd come back here a lot. Very old and historical town. And this little doggo here, who dogs talk, by the way. I should be talking to more dogs, because why wouldn't you? It's not even wrong. Like if you look at a Japanese map, general regions will give you some very general Japanese geography. Like over here is Kyushu. We were just in Oedo, which eventually is where more of modern capitals would spring up in Japan. Anyway, look at maps. Don't look at me. Oops. Let's see what all these people. I know what I need to do next, but this town always gets me a little confused sometimes because of how big it is. In terms of like, there's way more doors to go through than in Oedo town, especially because there's different routes you can go to as well. So you'll notice this guy here. Actually, this guy I talked to him. Kids with dancing talent have been kidnapped in the Shikoku region. I bet I'd better save them with my secret powers. Second thought now, my back's been bothering me. Why don't you do it? Yeah, of course. Benki is sitting on Gojo Hashi Bridge, not allowing anyone to get through. Hold him through once he's taken everything and added to this collection. So let's see. This is the bridge. We can't go there yet. We have to get something. So children in this area are being kidnapped. What does this world come to? Keep that in mind, because that's kind of the plot for the next sequence. Huge long thing flying across the sky. Yeah, I know, right? UFO is crazy. Actually, wait a second. I'll go to the bridge so we can see our next path blocker, if you will. Hey, stop right there. If you want to get by, hand over the treasure you have. Oh, yeah. So, friends who know me in real life know that I say coward a lot. This is where I got that from. It's because that guy just calls everyone a coward. There are other people and other things that have said it and reinforced my usage of it, but I feel like it's such a universal term to like express like, ah, what a coward. But it's not too mean. It's just right. So I haven't gone to too many of the stores either. You can get other items in this game. So see in the bottom right it says item box. How I mentioned though, like that this game is kind of easy. You can get a sombrero, a metal helmet, or metal armor, and they just kind of give you free hits. They're not unuseful. It might be better on your first playthrough if you want to get maybe like a safety net. But besides that, it's kind of easy. Ooh, this is something I actually want to show off. So, we saved already after impact. I don't need to do. I'll do it right now just to be safe. Speaking of saving, though, actually I'll talk about it in a second. Sorry, a lot of things. Always so many little things. Love this game. Anyway, okay, so we just saved just to be safe. But you'll notice it says spend the night. You have several options for spending the night. Wait, your strength is. I still wish to spend the night. Fuck it. You get the bronze room, silver room, or gold room. Each of these rooms gives you a different cutscene of things happening in the middle of the night. So you get bronze room, which essentially makes like Goemon or whoever look like they're sleeping in a dungeon. Silver room, which looks like just a floor, but we're gonna do the gold room right now. We're gonna ball out. Just because I gotta show off these great cutscenes. So you just get, like, even Yae gets one. You just get, like, kimono girls fanning you in the middle of the night. It's a great dungeon scene. Or, excuse me, dungeon. It's a great, inn scene. I love it. Anyway, so saving, how I just mentioned, I think this is just an item shop, then, or, like, a health... Yeah, you get onigiri, little rice balls there. Anyway, what's here? This is just someone's house, I assume. There's no store, but visit all kinds of places and listen to what people have to say. And I'm sure good things will happen. There you go. Good advice for this game. This is definitely a game where talking to the NPCs is always kind of charming. Even though I don't always need to do that. Let's see right here. There's a little cat that comes down if you hit this off. This area right here, an extremely confusing area, by the way. This pond will come in handy later. There's someone we need to meet at this pond, but that's way later in the game. Anyway, so saving. The reason I mentioned saving was I brought up the good old N64 memory card that's in the back of my controller here. When I originally had an N64, I didn't have a memory card. Well, I mean, like when I first got mine, because memory cards weren't always necessary. All you really used them for, at the time, were just like saving ghost data in race games, or like I'm trying to think. Like, I hear there are guys using gigantic robots to attack towns and villages. You're not those guys, are you? I mean, well, we've got a robot, but... but yeah, I had to get used to playing this game without a memory card. So a rental of this game could mean I had to turn the game on and play it without saving. And that was always kind of annoying at first, but it got me really good at playing that whole first segment of the game. I remember when I got far enough to get here to Zazen Town, I felt like I was in this big new area, like the whole second game had opened up. As a kid, you know, an hour or two goes by and you're playing a game and you're just like, oh my gosh, that's so much time. Because kids are being kidnapped, yeah. But I'm a big boy now. There's nothing I can't handle. We'll find out when the kids are being kidnapped soon enough. This guy got anything cool to say? Not a bad idea to visit each different area. Visit different areas just to feast on the great food. Oof. I think this isn't an English test. Bizen, located in wait, this is a door leads to Bizen, located in Chugoku region west of here. Apparently some kid was fooling around and did something to the door, so it wouldn't open. It's a real problem. Yes, this is an area we go to later. But again, it's an area that leads us back to Zazen Town. But yeah, so like having the whole beginning of the game memorized, kind of to the point where it's like, oh, I had to because I didn't have a choice back then. And then finally getting a memory card and beating this game was just like next level. So yeah, now I gotta find someone who had crossed the bridge before. Golden Temple, we will also come there later. This guy got to say. Okay, anyway, I know where we're supposed to go right now. So let's go to Duck Creek. Anyway, shouts out to anyone out there. I don't know if anyone has any stories to share about. These are the upper reaches of Duck Creek. If you go on the creek, you reach midstream and then a little further downstream. I must be up the creek without a paddle. Whoa. Anyway, yeah, shouts out to anyone here who's hanging out who had to play a game without a memory card, especially if you had a PlayStation. Man, like, memory cards were more essential there, obviously, and it was definitely an interesting thing for the time. But yeah, if you had a PlayStation and you didn't have a memory card, you were screwed unless you were playing like a fighting game or something. Even then, like saving your character data and stuff. Oof. But yeah, shouts out to anyone who had to play through games like without a memory card and memorize. So I don't know. Share those stories in the chat if you had them. Who are you? No, I don't recognize you. Should I Ushiwaka? The best looking knight in the world. I remember that. So I don't know about this guy. Do you know Benki? Of course I do. He's like a follower to me. Wait a sec. I bet you're trying to get across the bridge. Well, yes. Alright, so basically you just have to walk around and catch fish for this guy. Probably one of these slower side quests. So once you get bluefish first. You got 2 right here. Oh god. And grabbing the fish, you just walk up them. It doesn't take long, but you have to go through all the back streets here and go up and down the river. Gimme. Yeah, there we go. And if you grab fish of a different color, it doesn't make the game glitch, or doesn't make you restart or anything. So it's a nice feature. It just gives you a nice loud negative sound to let you know that you messed it up. You did it! Okay, next get me 5 yellowfish. Anyways, while we're doing thrilling fishing mini games, I hope everyone has had a good night so far. I hope everyone's week is going good too at first. It is Tuesday, and I am actually very much enjoying this chill Tuesday night stream. I'm mostly just happy everything's working this time. I've wanted to show this game, as well as many others, off for a while. I'm not sure what I'll do next. I'm sure a few of you out there are probably thinking, you know, when's Kingdom Hearts coming back? Kingdom Hearts is always on the menu. I have to admit, though, that with 3 coming out in, like, what? Okay, so today is January 15th. Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out in 14 days, I want to say? Jeez, yeah, 2 weeks. That's a weird point in my life to be able to say that. I think we're all thankful for that, finally. I would like to maybe stream a night of Kingdom Hearts 3 at some point, if there are hopefully no weird stream regulations on it. But beyond that, I'm kind of wanting to just, like, dive into that game. And I also realized at a certain point that I was not gonna be able to stream all the games, at least, you know, even just the general, like, story sections before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. I just didn't have the time for it. But with that in mind, though, that's also kind of why I decided to maybe try and do some streams during the week right now and see how it goes. When things get busier for me, I might not always be able to keep up with it, and that would be unfortunate, but if I can kind of practice that and see how that feels and how to pace things better, it would make it a lot easier for finishing longer games. You know, it's hard to say, like, oh, I'm gonna play, you know, any game that's not just like a 1 or 2 shot game. Like, so some games that I know very well, like when I started Star Fox a couple months ago, or even, I mean, I guess early last year technically, in like May or June when I did that. Star Fox that's a game I can do in one whole night, because like a playthrough of that game is maybe 2-ish hours, an hour and a half, as I proved. It's not very long. You know, it's a solid experience, but it's a rail shooter. You know, it's fast paced, it's quick. You're supposed to go through it, and even on the easier routes, it doesn't take that long. So, you know, for someone who knows the game back and forth, I could show off the whole thing in a whole night. That's fine. But there's plenty of other games I want to show off, like this. Like, I won't finish this game tonight, and that's fine. But doing this game over the course of 3 weeks versus the course of 1 week over 3 nights kind of sounds a lot nicer. And I'm not always going to be able to do that, I realize, but I also realize that consistency is what kind of keeps people coming back for streams. So right now, for me, while I'm, you know, just doing things and keeping steady, I would like to kind of build that consistency if I can, because hopefully I'll get more people to tune in and then, you know, have a big, you know, Friday end of the week, you know, it's party kind of stream. But then just nice chill. Oh, you don't need any more redfish. Okay, good, I got them all. Anyway, now that I'm concluded talking about my schedule plans, stay tuned for more Goemon, but let's turn in these fish. Pretty much just fed this guy for a week. Alright, he did it. And as promised, Teresa Benki, I'm sure he'll move aside. We receive the Achilles heel. Wait, why is it called that? Hold on, let me switch back. What does the item look like? Yeah, it's just that weird little barrel there. We'll discuss why it's called the Achilles heel in a bit, but just take a big moment with me as we all stare at that strange item. I wonder if that's a direct translation or not as well. I don't know. Anyway, thankfully, we can just get out of the river, and then I think our friend we need to talk to is right here. Aha! You over there, if you want to cross this bridge, I can see in your eyes, you want to fight. If you lose, I'll blast you far away. And then it's narrator time. Well, it's a fight with Benki. Look for the instant he reaches the ground when jumping, and throw the Achilles heel at him 3 times, within the time limit. The item can be thrown by pressing the P button. So, you just gotta time your jumps so you can hurt him. Really, the key is, like, the minute he jumps is to press B so he doesn't slash it away. There you go. Not too hard. So, everyone screen cap this, by the way. This is historically accurate and 100% factual. Ever since the Achilles heel was thrown at Benki, Achilles heel was meant to be the weak point of someone. Wait, there's something fishy about that story. I fucking love this game. To be defeated in the manner I was by Ushiwaka. Please. I beg you, don't tell anyone that I lost. I'll leave past the bridge, I will. I'll give you something from my collection. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Look at, he gives you our 4th party member. He gives you our young friend Sasuke. No, it's not that Sasuke. It's the cooler Sasuke. What Benki pulled out was all stiff, with batteries almost falling out. It was none other than the mechanical ninja Sasuke. This is the cool Sasuke. Man, fuck all those other Sasuke's. I wonder if it has anything to do with the explosion at the Wiseman's house. Yeah, so Sasuke is Wiseman's little ninja robot creation. So it's implied that when his house blew up, he flew over here and Benki found him. So right now, unfortunately, even though we got Sasuke, he is broken. And we need batteries for him, which we will find later. So as you can see, it's nice, because you still get his character portrait in the bottom left. I also thought Sasuke is so cool. He's like robot ninja. What else do you need? He's great. But we don't get him right now, even though we have him. That's kind of a cool thing. Does he have anything else to say? Go right ahead. Yeah, so we used the famous Achilles heel created by Mystical Ninja starring Goemon in 1997, and nowhere else. Okay, so this is Yamato region. There's several places to go here, and it can be this gets a little confusing here because aside from everything that the people in town told us, we aren't really it's not really clear where to go from here. But I know where to go. So first, there's this big castle here, or shrine, excuse me. And then unfortunately the door is closed with magical powers. It's okay. So there's several paths here that lead us into 2 parts of the forest. One leads us through to another area, but another one is what we're going to go visit first and play with that shrine behind us. Again, notice more just like groove-tastic tunes. Okay, so this is the turtle shrine, in which you can make 4 things happen depending on where you push it. Okay, so power to north, the key to the shrine, so that... I should stop reading so slow. Key to the closed-out Yamato shrine is this. So if you push the statue that way, it does that. You push it to the east, as it were. So power south, Lucky Cat drops in your lap. Power the west, money makes the world go round. And then just that makes a lot of money drop. So for anyway, we're gonna get the magical cat first, and then we're gonna go east. Can I push it back? I forget. I forget if I have to walk in and out to push it all 4 ways, but we're not gonna do the money one because that would just take too long, especially if we have to walk back. Let me see. Ah, sorry. You know what? I'm just gonna walk back in and out. That's gonna be a lot quicker. No, it's not really quick. Almost there. Yeah, that's gonna take a second. Thankfully, the rest of the stuff just kind of there. I think. Let me see. So the second one we're gonna go through is this weird shrine gate where I've never quite known where in the game it takes you. I think it's just like a side area. But I'll read the sign again just so you make sure. Okay, Turtle Power of East. The magical red gate shall take you to a new land. Oops, let me get the camera. I'm trying to make her push it that way. There we go. I love the little facial animation change when she pushes too. That's very Wind Waker-esque. Ooh, and now we change. Now we are on Awaji Island, which actually is kind of close to where we are, but there's, I guess, this little landmass which we can walk to, but I don't know why it just warps us there. Anyway. Now we get warped out to this boat. That's what magical Japanese gates do. And unfortunately, because our camera is not being friendly, it's gonna have to trust the fact that I know where I'm going. And there are little landmines out in the ocean here too. Ignore those. I don't know why, but for some reason the frame rate starts to chug here and things just kind of slow down. I think it's because there's a lot of enemies flying. Never known why. So you are at the Husband and Wife Rocks, and I don't know if that's an actual landmark in Japan or not. They're just these 2 rocks that are just out in the middle of nowhere. This is the area that's isolated from everything else. Also, notice, so when I was hitting enemies with Goemon's pipe earlier, I just bash them and they die. When I slice them with Yai's katana, they get cut in half. That's such a fun little detail. Anyway, excuse chugging frame rate line, but that's part of the authenticity of this original hardware, as it were. Thankfully, the stream is still going strong tonight. I'm very thankful to have ironed out all the kinks and actually be able to play all my favorites. This was originally the dream with me starting the stream, not just Kingdom Hearts, even though I love Kingdom Hearts. And then, yeah, another lucky cat doll. Let's get it. So yeah, just this weird little isolated area where it's like you didn't have to come explore that, but there it is. And then that leads you back there if you go through the gate again, so be careful. So before we go over to this area here, there's a coffee shop, and there's another building over there. Another building. Where are we? Excuse me. Yeah, there's a building, I think up here? Yeah, there's a building over there, which we'll go to in a minute. And then there's a coffee shop back here. I'm trying to think if there's another pathway. Okay, road direction to the north. Shimato, the west is Shikoku? But I don't think we can go through here yet. Yeah, this is an area we need to come explore later when we have better jumping powers, which we will get those at some point. Hopefully I'll remember that. But yeah, this is the coffee shop. Oh, and so this over here, something you don't always see too frequently in this game, is an extra life. Or surprise pack, as it's called. Because, like I said earlier when I was talking about how easy this game is, if you fall down a hole, which I haven't done yet, you just lose like a pip of your health. You don't lose a whole life. So losing a whole life, which I would like to game over at some point, because the game over screen in this game is actually kind of ridiculous. I think if you lose a robot battle, you game over, so I might have to show that off at some time. But it's one of the weirdest game over screens I've ever seen. Walking back just so we can go to the shrine before we move forward in progression. What was I saying? Oh, game over screen. But also your lives. So yeah, you can buy surprise packs from certain certain stores if you find them, and you find them scattered at some points throughout the world. But really, like, I almost never die in this game, and that's not just because I played it a lot. Like, when I was younger, I remember dying a bit, but it's not a very difficult game in terms of, like, things that kill you. There's little progression stop, right? It's more like the puzzles of figuring out the world. But, yeah, like, having lives as well as the entire life bar is kind of excessive, in my opinion. That's, I think, what hammers in how easy it is. Like, if all you had was either the lives or the life bar, it'd be a lot more challenging, or I think it's always better balanced. But, because like in the other Goemon game in 64, you have just 3 hits per level, and then you can get armor. The armor you buy from the stores, like I showed off earlier, that gives you extra rows of hits, and so it makes things a little more challenging. That game is actually a little more difficult, and I'd really like to sit down and give it a good hard, like, let's finish this once and for all kind of a thing. But maybe someday. I don't know about on stream, because I am admittedly not as seasoned at that game as I am with this one, but it's got a lot of the same great production quality and value as this one, for sure. So this is just Yamato Shrine. There's nothing super special about this. There is, I think, a cat doll, and then also a surprise pack at the top as well. Kind of weird how close in place 2 extra lives are in this game, since it's, like I said, it is a bit rare. The platforming in here is very stiff, though. Like, it's the most annoying part is that there might be parts where you could just, like, straight up fall down, and that all sucks. Anyway, let's see. Oh, it's 8:30. Okay, that's not bad. I've been going for an hour and a half. I was planning on going till about maybe, I don't know, 10 tonight. That should be pretty solid for a Tuesday. I know everyone's got to get to bed and got to get to work and do all the good stuff tomorrow. I know I've got to say I've got a long day tomorrow, but yeah, there we go. So now we've done everything we can in here. I think it's safe if I just hop away. I think there's one more cat doll in here. Let me see, because I know there's like a platform you can jump to, but it's a little... It's a little... Let me see. Yeah, it's right down there. Let me see. Okay, no, we can get it. I always forget about that. So yeah, there's 2 cat dolls in here. Kind of unique. But that's kind of the big reward. So, like, you got a cat doll for doing the turtle puzzle originally. Sorry, I keep jumping up the ladder because I think if you jump a lot with Goemon on the ladder, then he will automatically go up. But I think Yai's jump cycle is a little different than Goemon's. But, okay, so... There we go. Super top tier 3D platforming skills. You're welcome. And yeah, so that actually just gave you an entire extra health pip if you did that whole sequence. So you got, like, there were 2 in here, and then there was one on the Shrine Island, and then there's one in the Turtle Forest. So no matter what, you would always come across an extra life, or extra hit bar there. There are also full gold cats that you can find at very rare instances of the game. Not too many, but it's the same thing as getting like a full health container at the end of a boss in Zelda. But weirdly enough, those don't drop at the end of bosses here, and I think that's okay. Anyway, I have no idea at this point what these flying little orb enemies are, but you can see the enemy designs slowly but surely changing. Alright, so now we're going to go to the coffee shop first to kind of learn about what's going on over here. Because, as we were told in Zazen Town, there are kiddos that have just been disappearing. Keys Coffee Shop. So what do all these people got to say? I've been studying long and hard about turtle stones, but there's one thing that always bothered me. Why are they turtle stones? Why not like rabbit stones? I don't know, man. You tell me. The tourist center at Awaji Island will instantly transfer you to a place far away. That's what you call instant pleasure. Huh? I don't know about that one game for kids and adults and up. Nah, I don't need any dumplings, lady, but thank you. Okay, so there's nothing much really going on here, but I do need to go to the travel agency up there. That is going to lead us to where we are going next. I don't know about a zone of instant pleasure. This might not be the stream to talk about that, but hey, y'all do you. I ain't judging. Live your lives. Who am I kidding? Of course we're trying to get... This stream is all about getting transported to instant pleasure zones, as we're about to do right now. And let me see, I don't... Can I read that? Turisto? Yeah. So I don't know what the first set of kanji there said, but that definitely says Turisto. Please forgive my poor Japanese. So this is the Oedo Tourist Center, Awaji Island branch. We will carry you to Shikoku at once with our proud dragon. Is what we really want to say. Our proud dragon? Oh, giant dragon, huh? Suddenly gone wild and cannot carry you now. Can someone do something about this? Of course, let's go get this giant dragon. Hell yeah. So, we're about to go catch a giant dragon. As if this game wasn't already wild enough. All of a sudden, to just a giant transporting sequence. Yeah, let's save Blue Shenron. Don't worry about falling off the dragon's back, by the way. It's just gonna rotate like that while we land on it. But as ninjas, we have that power to just stand on dragons' backs. Also, the scales have like no hit detection. You can just walk through his little tail fins. Oh god. Yeah, no, seriously. Like, look at Dark Souls. That game has giant dragons. Look at look at The Hobbit. That book's got a giant dragon. Alright, shouts out to giant dragons. Really. Trying to think of what else has giant dragons. Anyway, this giant dragon is being mind controlled by this fool up here. Let me switch to Goemon. Having the chain pipe makes this fight way easier. What? That machine? Aha! Testing! Well now, ta-da! We kidnap kids with dancing talons using this dragon. I don't know what that's about. I, the mighty Colon. This guy's name is just Colon. I would love to see what that was translated from. That's... Huh. Bye. How do you know about us? Ooh, I get it. You must be the annoying clowns Baron was talking about. Annoying clowns, but... God, no, the laugh track gets me every time. Also, this thing's name is just Colon. Just let that sink in. Man, this guy's ass. Okay, I won't make any more jokes like that. But yeah, it's a pretty easy fight. I mean, it's essentially a sub-boss. We get a few of these now as we're going through. There's not much you can really do. It's actually kind of a boring fight. I mean, just kind of be careful with the dragon shifting left and right and stay on the higher angles and just hit him where it counts. That's all it is, really. But hey, it's a mind control robot. What are you gonna do? Should be it here? Oh, come on. Oh god, I'm just freaking out now. Yeah, I can't really do much. There we go. And we've saved our friend, yeah. And we can travel across the country because, honestly, how else would you travel all the way across Japan if not by giant dragon? Ooh. What? Just lying right in front of me. Who's this guy? Yeah, that's what the bullet train is. It's just a giant dragon. Goes faster than here anyway. Koryuta, what's going on? Was that you? Yes, that's right. So this little blue kid, he turns into the dragon. Just why not? Koryuta. So I'm gonna use a really awful bit of my very young Japanese knowledge at this point. So his name, Ko Ryuta, I think might be a pun. So Ko, there's a kanji for Ko, I think that means child or young. Don't quote me on that, or it definitely means younger. And then Ryu is often one for dragon or travel as well. And then I'm not sure what ta means at the end, but Ko Ryu ta could mean that he's like young dragon child. That's a really awful mistranslation, I am sure, but perhaps I'm reading too much into it. Anyway, what's been going on all this time? So yes, narrative time. Dragon, who had been hypnotized by the Peach Mountain, was actually none other than Koryuta, the son of the dragon god. Well, there you go. Goemon and allies explain everything. Oh no. So you're telling me that I was the one out there kidnapping kids all over the place? Damn. Poor kid. God, I love that laugh track so much. You were hypnotized. I think you could have done about it. Like, where'd you take the children? Yes, that's right. The hot springs. Hot springs. I remember going to the Dogo Hot Springs, just west of Iyo. Dogo Hot Springs, that's a popular spot. Kurita, you must return to being just a tourist as soon as you possibly can. I will rescue the children myself. Really? Thank you very much. Oh, here's something. Please take this. Oh, this is great. So yeah, we pretty much just got our airship for this game. Now we can fast travel. It really helps progression later on. So unfortunately, we don't see him in kid form like that too much more. Oh yeah, Goemon doesn't know how to play the flute. Yai knows how, and so does Ebisu, so who gets it? Ah, Yai gets it. Why not me? Extra laugh track, yeah. Don't worry. Ebisu's about to get a lot of play. I keep hyping it up. But yeah, we got Koryuta's flute. That's one of Yai's other items. What's weird is sometimes if you scan over to it and you forget that you're using it, she'll start playing it, but you can stop it mid-play, so I'll show you. Hold on a second. No, I nearly forgot. Inside a building, such as a castle or store, I won't be able to hear. So make sure you're outside. Yeah, makes sense. And you just hear him peace out from there. Like Kapura Mountain entrance. So we can either go back or we can climb up this mountain right here, which actually is what we're going to do because we need to get something at the top of this mountain. We would need to get it anyway, but it would be a big walk or wrap back around if I had to come back here. Because you don't find out that you need it until kind of later. But let me show you really quick. So you can make her start playing the flute. But you can also cut it out, so you don't have to go to the dragon screen. We'll show what that looks like in a little bit, but just one crazy thing to the next. Giant robots, giant dragons, and also one of the best tracks in the game, so I'm gonna get funky. Actually, I need to go on one for this now that I think about it. And then just weird old giant heads. It's a cover of a Yes album or something. And then there's another coffee shop as we're up here. Forget if people up here say anything. What's that thing moving about the stairs? Wow, that's so dangerous. Yeah, it is. No shit. Same destiny as myself. A resident here for many years. What's this? I think that lady just sells me dumplings. Yeah. I don't need to talk to her. Already too strong for dumplings. Once again, this is your half-hourly PSA that this soundtrack is a winner. I think this is the last segment of this mountain we have to climb up. I think we're at the top. You see? Yeah, so we're up here. This is the Compare Mountain Grounds. So there are a couple things we can do here. Let me go to these houses on the sides first. I'll explain kind of why we're here. They have to say, man. I've got a really gloomy past, you see. Drifting for years, I finally come to this place. Does that make me a nihilist? I don't know, man. Live your life. If that guy and the person in this house don't explain it, then I think the sign explains. I know why we're here, but I'm trying to see if the game will give us a nice little... Ooh, what's this? Ooh, this little temple guy. Okay, it's Compira, not Campari. Campari, no. Anyone watch JoJo Season 5? Okay, so... Put 5 Rio into the offertory chest at the shrine. Do this, you receive help from God. So putting money into a box and receive help from God. So yeah. So earlier I was saying Goemon. Hold on a second. God's gonna talk. God of money. I've hereby received your medal of justice. Oh yeah. You're now powered up. So this is one of Goemon's many power-ups that he gets. So instead of just shooting your regular money, you get a fire medal, which you can use to light torches. And in the next dungeon we go to, you're going to have to light torches. So if you didn't figure that out by then, you have to come all the way back up here. So see if we hold it, then... Get the cool explosive fire, but we don't use that all the time. And on the menu, though, I like that it always shows his flaming fire medal there. It's always very cool. But yeah, so just remember that if you hold your money in your hand after you've thrown 5 cents into a church offering box, your money will then light on fire once you throw it, holding it for about after 3 seconds. So keep that in mind, you know, whenever you need a light in real life. But just further enforcing the fact that Goemon is totally hitting the ganj or whatever they were smoking in Japan back in the day. I mean, he's got his pipe, he's got his fire medals. He's got his chain pipe, and he's ready to go. Anyway, now it's time to just hop, skip down the mountain, down these stairs. It's all we really do here in Compira, but it's a fun little section of the game that, again, has just a slapping soundtrack. I love the music in this area. Got another N64, I don't know, post your favorite N64 soundtracks while we're walking down this mountain. Another one I really want to show off. A game that I would love to get to, but has stumped me time and time again because I'm just not good at the ending of it, is Bomberman Hero. The Bomberman games are good, but I feel like a lot of people, when they bring up Bomberman on the N64, talk about the Bomberman 64 games. Like the 64 and Bomberman 64 Second Attack, as this lady got to say. This is Folky Poke village of Oa. The village is famous for folk dancing. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go over here. Also, we haven't visited Mr. Fortune Teller in a while. Let's go get some of that sexy plasma dance. Because we all need it. Yeah. What's he got to say to us? I'm pretty sure I already know what we're doing. Let's get started. Oof. And you can't just simply enter the Dogo Hot Springs. Tough choice. Majora's Mask. Can't simply enter the Dogo Hot Springs of Io. You must first obtain information from Io's coffee shop. Oh, yeah, okay. Now I know what we're supposed to do next. And then, yeah, go to Mount Compure to worship. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, no. Majora's Mask definitely up there as one of the better ones. Like, not even just like Ocarina of Time, but that Majora's Mask definitely used like a lot of the similar sound designs, but like took it a step further. Just a lot of hard hitters there. What kind of food is here? Orange noodles, fresh bonito. Yeah, for sure. I mean, both Zeldas, but yeah, Majora's Mask definitely up there with still like iconic tracks. Not even just like Link's songs, but music. I feel like music, even though it always plays a big part in Zelda games, like especially during like that era, because like the whole Ocarina thing and then Wind Waker, I feel like music played such a big part in those games. And then like as you move forward, music in those Zelda games kind of like obviously like the music itself was good, but like music as a theme in the game kind of got pushed to the wayside. I don't know. I never hated that, but I think those being my early exposure Zelda games anyway, definitely, I don't know, it definitely changed my... It created a certain perspective for me. See, you'll see there's a cat doll under here, by the way. And I can't crawl into that, even with Goemon's sexy little crawl he does. We'll come back to that. It's almost like we might need to shrink in size. Oh yeah, the Clock Town music, for sure. That is actually a great example, all the Clock Town themes. A great example of how I mentioned layering dungeon music earlier for anyone else watching. When I was in the Oedo town castle, like dragons and squishies that come from fantasy stories, right? They really blow fire from their mouths. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier when I was in Oedo Castle, music layering, Majora's Mask, the Clock Town theme, that is another fantastic example of layered music. So every day, oh, by the way, so this is the tourist branch. So where we were before, if we wanted to just naturally take the tourist station, this works now, since we fixed it. I hate airplanes, that's why I chose to be transferred to tourist. Man, this is old Japan, there's no airplanes, use the dragon system. Come on, man. But yeah, layered music, that definitely happens with Clock Town. Like, the theme, things pick up, pace picks up more on the second day, but things are kind of more ominous on the third day. It's great sound and composition for that. And I feel like in this game's dungeons, you definitely get that, like, kind of the added layers, the more higher intensity. But what was I saying? Oh, Bomberman. Yeah, Bomberman. Handful of Bomberman games on the 64. Everyone else talks about 64 and 64 second attack, but my personal favorite from the bunch is probably Bomberman Hero. Probably because that's just the one I rented a lot when I was younger. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. But that game also has a killer soundtrack. The other ones do as well, but they very different music for the series at that point. Has a lot of very almost like electronic, like drum and bass style infusions in it, and I love it. Like, that definitely spurred a lot of early music exposure for me, and like trying to find more music like that. Oh, I forgot there's this little vine bridge area here, so we gotta be careful here. I think there's a lucky cat on the other side, but see these different colored panels here? If you jump at the wrong time, they will drop. I'm shrugging because there you go. How to get rid of that guy. But yeah, the floor will drop right out from under you if you don't. Don't be careful. Anyway, yeah, Bomberman 64, or excuse me, Bomberman Heroes got a fantastic soundtrack. I adore that game. Unfortunately, to 100% that game, something I've tried to do for a long time, you have to do some crazy stuff at the end of the game. Not only do you have to, like, get all the collectibles in it, I think you have to, like, beat the final boss without taking damage. And it's kind of insane once you get to the end of it. So, I mean, I cheated a long time ago when I looked up a video of it, because I'm a huge pansy casual. But, still, that game overall is fantastic, and it's a fun game to run through. It's a tough one. It's one of my faves, though. I would actually like to share that on stream at some point. I don't know if I'd ever play all the way through it, because then I'd get super exposed at the end, but, it's one that I enjoy, for sure. Or I don't... See, now I'm trying to think. I don't remember what the 100% qualifications are for that game. But, okay, where's... There we go. I'll get any cat dolls that come across my path, but there are definitely some I know that I might not make my way, go out of the way to grab, just because they take a little bit of extra backtracking. That's okay. I already have the thing unlocked that I need. That's what's kind of nice about the fact that I'll be able to show stuff off on my N64 carts, is the fact that I already have like so many game saves that are just done. So if I've already unlocked stuff, I might be able to just run through a game and maybe not have to show off 100% if I don't want to. But anyway, we're going to the coffee shop up here. Oh, and what's also important about coffee shops, now that I've been mentioning that, is that that's where That's where Koryuta will travel to. So you don't just travel to towns. There's certain areas where it might be more useful depending on like the dungeon you're trying to go to, or wherever. Where like flying to the coffee shop might be a much wiser choice. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. What's this? So turn left here for Dogo Hot Springs. So they're the hot springs, right? Hold on a second. And it looks like the door to Dogo Hot Springs is closed tight, but we've got a little mouse hole on the side here. Once again, we can't fit through it, so let's go figure that out. Oh, how convenient, a coffee shop right here by the entrance to the hot springs. So let's see what these guys have to say. I've seen this dragon flying around. Be careful if you don't want to be eaten. So there's a small hole in the side of hot springs. Only a dwarf could enter a hole that small. I saw a dwarf in Zazentown. He's kind of cool looking, but also looked real mean. Yeah, don't bathe in old-timey Japan. So anyway, yeah, so we've got to go back to Zazentown now. So we'll use our friend Yae. And we'll show you the coolest of travel sequences. Screw flying in Pokemon. This is where it's at. And you choose your location and go back to Zazentown. And I think you could speed this up, but why would you want to? I think pressing start is what speeds it up. It'll just makes the whole sequence loop kind of faster. Bam. Yeah, so you'll start off at the beginning of the town. So let's see. Now we're gonna switch to our friend Ebisu, because in a nice twist of irony, the thickest and most lovely of individuals in this game gets to be the one who shrinks. So we are going to back out over here. We'll be giving him some good playtime to the end of this game. And look, our little friend. Yeah, we know you, Ushiwaka. What happened? Why are you so small? The sweets of the Golden Temple? Well, if you eat 8 in a row, there's a strange power that makes you shrink. If for any reason you want to go shrink to go to the Golden Temple, I'll be there waiting for you. And he has this cute little putter away that he does. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so we're going to the Golden Temple now. I read a sign for the Golden Temple earlier, but I said I will be coming back to it later. But this is what I meant by you come back to Zazentown a lot more than you do for other areas. It's way more of a central hub. The only thing you ever really, like I said, go back to Oedo Town for is just to get an item. Well, you go back there, because you travel there with the dragon if you want, but then you go back there for just upgrades. That's about it. But I think you do way more coming here to Zazentown. Which one is the Gold Temple, by the way? Wait, what's that? Mount Nyoigatake? What's up? Actually, what is this? Oh, I know what that is. We can't really do anything up there. The way to Mount Nyoigatake. Step aside, I say. Step aside, you're in the way, move you. God, that guy's rude. But yeah, we don't need to go there yet. There's stuff we get there later. I don't want to spoil what it is. It's goofy stuff for another time. Another night. But yeah, here we are, so. Made it. Please explain. Okay, so he just breaks meta and tells the narrator to talk to us. Who is this guy? My pleasure. The sweets in the cupboard at the temple will start falling from above. If you catch 8 sweets before the time is up, you'll be able to use magical powers to make you shrink. However, if you're seen catching these sweets, something terrible will happen. Ready, set, go. And so this is one of 4 really cute mini games you play as each character, in which you're essentially playing the gamer mini game from Game and Wario / Smash Bros. Yeah, just don't get caught. But this is one of 4 games that get played, and you don't get to play them again. Oh god, I don't think you get to play them again, based on what I know. You just do them, but the whole point of the games is to power up your characters. So I guess eating magical sweets in a cupboard is how Ebisu powers up. Oh, I messed up there. I got too greedy. That's okay. It's very, very easy to actually lose those segments. As you lose nothing there. Looks like you failed. Want to try again? Absolutely not. You just jump right back. You lose nothing for failing. Just gotta be careful not to take too many hits. Some of the other ones are a lot tougher too. But yeah, you can technically hide behind all 4 of these structures. I technically could have dodged a lot of those bombs falling out of the sky from whatever these weird, like, pointy-headed shark men are that are trying to hunt us down. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a cultural reference to something. I'm sure it is. I don't get what those things are. If they're just supposed to be like creepy giants. Why do all N64 games that have giants feature creepy giants? Oh god, I am just taking hits left and right. And the dumplings here don't revive your health, by the way, so I gotta be careful. I'm really just taking hits. I might fail this again. Oh god. Hide, please. There you go. It just sucks when you're like way across the room and you get afraid that they will disappear like this. Ooh, there you go. I got 2. Yeah, no, we've definitely got it now. Okay, the last one's over there. And we did it. And you get these amazing... Yeah, shake that ass! What a hero. And now you can shrink as you wish. Many Ebisu magic powers. Yeah. Fantastic. Powers will allow you to shrink and get through small holes and narrow roads. However, remember that while using many Ebisu powers, you will not be able to attack. That's something good to know, so watch. So you get your first power... Oh, sorry. Press up on the C buttons, and then your jump is reduced even. It's literally just for traversal. But it's a cute power-up. You can't use it while you're moving either. You have to be stationary in place. Anyway, enough. Everyone else gets a superpower. I already hinted that someone turns into a mermaid. That's Yai. I'll hide the other 2 powers for now, because one is an extremely hard ripoff of something, but the other one is just, it's pretty cool for the person who gets it. Wait, Folky Poke Village. Oh, EO Coffee Shop, that's what I want. Ooh, okay, perfect timing. So it's 9 o'clock right now. We are coming up on the second dungeon for the game, second major dungeon. Should be a good time. Hope everyone has enjoyed this entertaining Goemon playthrough so far. I'm having a good time. The stream looks like it's been great the whole night. Very thankful for that, and I'm just thankful for anyone who stopped by so far. Shouts out to coffee shops, by the way. Oh god, no. So that's the thing, once you use the flute, even though she goes into time stop mode where you're doing it, thankfully, if that's the last thing you use with her, you can jump around and accidentally use the flute. But yeah, hey, shouts out to coffee shops. On my way to the classes I've been taking, or that I started up taking again, I have fallen victim to finally drinking coffee. I didn't grow up drinking coffee. Did not really have a coffee machine in the house, and just I wasn't one of those kids who around the age of middle school felt the need to start drinking coffee because of whatever. But I never minded. I never personally minded a good cup of coffee. Usually I'll get some when I go to I don't know what kind of enemies those are, by the way. I'll get some when I go to like a local diner that I very much enjoy. But I don't always drink coffee. That being said, though, man, I've fallen in hard to getting a cup of coffee before I go, or iced coffee, whatever I want. So this is a hot spring, by the way. See how my health bar is kind of low there? If I lay in it for a second, this should work. There you go. You get a health up. It's not too much, but it's a nice little touch. Hot springs are nice. I've never gone to an actual hot spring like that, but hey, hot tubs are fun too. Yeah, shout out to coffee and coffee shops, and the fact that 7-Eleven, hey, if y'all don't have the 7-Eleven app and you go to 7-Eleven frequently enough, you get some good rewards points on there. Oh yeah, but I mean, you can't beat $1 or $2 for what I consider to be just a fairly decent tasting cup of coffee, but I'm also not super picky. So this weird area that just looks like wall clipping hell is leading us up to the next dungeon. God, I love Ebisu so much. He doesn't get a lot of play by me in the beginning of the game, and he might not get a lot of play later, but this whole segment with him is just great. He gets some cool items later, though, too. He gets an item in this dungeon, he gets an item in, I think, this third dungeon as well. Yeah. But yeah, once again, just friendly reminder, Ebisu is a more or less self-insert of one of the game designers. And that's gotta be like just the most baller move, and like what a chill guy too, because again he could have made himself look like anyone. It's like nah, I just put in a nice cute chubby insert of myself. You know, like what? Who doesn't want that kind of honesty in their lives? Maybe all embrace their glorious chubby selves. And here we are. We are at Peach Mountain Shogun's Ghost Toys Castle. Do you wish to save the game at this point in your save the game at this point in your adventure? Yeah. So you'll notice too. So before we went to the Oedo Town Castle, and that was just already there. But this is actually one of the Peach Mountain gang's hideouts. And then, so remember how I talked about layering music? Really listen for it in this dungeon. It gets saucy in here. I'll leave it at that. So this is where we need a combination of friendly powers. So first we have to light these torches, and then opens the front door here. And then right now there's no power, so we don't get to play the greatest of games, a crane game. Which this gets kind of tough, but you get the little camera in there. I'll try and, from this point I think I can kind of safely stick with Ebisu, but that's sort of the fun of the game, is that like the dungeons as we start progressing will feature maybe different puzzles that it's like, hey, swap out a character, swap out a character, swap out a character. And you don't just stick with one person. Even if you only use one of their special moves for a minute, it's still kind of cool that they have that little bit of variety going for you. Oof. Can I jump over here? Yes, I can. Ooh, sick platforming skills. I'm a professional at video games, as you can see by all my certifications. No, the platforming in this game is most assuredly stiffer than it should be for, I think, a game of this time. I've played some of the Super Nintendo Goemon games, and they move pretty smooth. I don't know what it is, though. These N64 ones always just kind of move a little more stiffly than I'd like. Never get tired of hearing Mr. Elephant's name. He also serves as the narrator, as we've been seeing. I kind of like, too, that there's just, like, a meta-narrator that comes in. That just shows how goofy this game is as a whole. Oof. I'm trying to get health hurt me in the meantime. There we go. I think... Okay, no, I thought the sound was going to build up again. Every time I hear the drums come in at the end of like the main loop for the track, I think that the sound is going to come back in. Alright, so now we need to lift this really weird like rose bud petal seed thing. Just a random ass item and take it to the top of this giant flower pot. And then bada boom. And then it just spits out health and money. But maybe that's just a metaphor for life. Plant some flowers, get some health, do it up. Live your life. And get rid of all these little Daruma dolls. Just bouncing about everywhere. I don't know what this little raised platform there is supposed to be either. Oh, wait. No, never mind. I'm actually supposed to just... There we go. I answered my own question because... Quick thinking and answers that you already knew the answer... Questions you already knew the answer to are what we specialize here at the Roblink stream. Okay, now we got these cool little shogi tiles on the ground here. Okay, so over here, as you can see, I'm gonna... No, let me change the camera. So, I haven't really pointed it out, but everyone's kind of got... Oh, I messed that up. Everyone's kind of got a little sexy forward strut, as you can see. Let me get rid of some of these enemies, too. If you just tilt the controller ever so slightly, you get a nice little sneaky walk. You don't get just your regular old-fashioned walk. You get a nice little sneaky walk. Go over here. No. Go away. There you go. But yeah, everyone... Oh gosh, if I can ever get back on this platform due to this game's beautiful camera, you'll see that... Okay, there we go. Everyone, now if I can turn it this way... Yes, perfect. Just gotta get the camera to work for you. See, everyone's got like several different walk cycles. So this is a golden cat, and that just gives you straight up one extra life bar. They don't appear all the time. They're very infrequent, like I said before, but... always easy to just grab one. Well, good to grab one anyway. Maybe not easy, but anyway. So that's Ebisu's walk and trot. So while we're here, let me show off the rest too. So Yai, as we showed off earlier, she's got a little sneak, and then she's got kind of a confident little stroll there. And then Goemon, he's got like a sneak, and then he's got a very confident forward walk. Anyway, enough of reading too deeply into characters, because that's also what we specialize here in on this channel. We are now in another darkly lit room. It's okay. I don't think there are too many other torches that we light here in this dungeon. We need to go downstairs first. Ooh. And then, as you can see, there's some things underwater there. We can't go underwater right now. I forget if those are things you can come back for later when you have the diving mermaid powers. I admittedly do not remember. I think that might be one of those things where it's like that's where some hidden cat dolls are. But that's optional backtracking, I want to say. But anyway, now... I don't need to hit those pots. We are at the power switch. Bam. And these are a little brighter. And now I want to say that now that the power's on, the music should start to ramp up. And also we have a full halfway through our health gauge now. That's great. So, this crane game segment. It's not great. I'm going to try and do it on my first try. Come on! Boy, got it on my first try. Oh, that thing is the worst, because you have the little shadow to hover with. Oh, Add that to the segment of me doing the stupid Kingdom Hearts golden mushroom, or rare mushroom thing. Holy shit. Yeah, no, it's just a really goofy crane game. That's all it is. The problem is just because like it takes so long to reset, because if you miss it, you have to wait for the whole handle to go back, and that can take a long time. Yeah! Oh, I'm so happy with that. Anyway, you get Ebisu's wind-up camera for him to creep on everyone with. No, so what this does is reveal ghosts. Ebisu is a ghostbuster. Put him in Luigi's Mansion, please. Man, I really want to get the second Luigi's Mansion game. Big side note, but hold on. So, little ghosties here, as you may have noticed in the beginning. You hold it like you do for Goemon's fire shot, and then boom, and the ghosts are real. It does nothing in this room, but it's a good way to test it out. Ooh, I'm very happy I did that on the first try too. That makes me look like I know what I'm doing. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Side note, I've seen recently too. By the way, I just saw this morning. Speaking of Majora's Mask, how we were at soundtracks in the chat. Hey, anyone who hasn't played the 3DS version of Majora's Mask, go check it out. It just got announced along with I think Star Fox and well Mario Maker of all weird things, but excuse me. That it just got announced for being part of the 3DS like discount line. I think like Nintendo Selects is what they call it. 3DS stuff is very cheap right now. Like people have been ragging on the 3DS for like put everything on Switch. It's like I get that, but hey man, like some people just need a good discount option to play video games. Like do you want to give your 6-year-old kid a Switch, fancy as it is? Like I don't know, you might, but at the same time, it's like no, just get him a nice little 3DS. I don't know. I really like the final revision. Do I have a key? Hold on a second. I don't have a key. I'm in the right area. I appreciate the final. Oh, there we go. I do have a key. Final revision of 3DS, which is technically no, it's the 2DS XL or new 2DS XL. It's very nice. It's very sleek and slim. I have one of the regular size new 3DSs because I am just that's the only time I've ever upgraded mine. For a while they were. Ooh, music is just ramped up by the way. Listen to that piano in the background. Anyway, yeah, my 3DS is I had an original one. It was an Ocarina of Time bundle one, but then I got a new one, which was the standard size new 3DS. I'm not a big fan of the XL sizes. Plenty of friends have them. I have nothing against them. I just kind of like the regular size. I think it's just a me thing, but I really like the revision they did. So the new 3DS standard size one. I like that one a lot. I like the changeable faceplates on it. Reminds me a lot of the Game Boy Micro for like myself and all like other 2 people that bought those out there. I had a big brain fart, but we were talking about 3DSs anyway. Long story short, right now 3DS is in a good spot if you want to get stuff for cheap. A lot of the games are getting price drops, which is usually, I don't know, Nintendo used to be really good about game discounts. Like so many games, not even just like the N64, but like I remember an old game store near me, I bought loads of old Super Nintendo games they had on like discount sale. Like a lot of my old, like I still have my old game box for Link to the Past. Like it was the player's choice version of it, but I still have that because I was really into Zelda at that point when I was a kid. And I remember when my cousin gave me his old Super Nintendo, the store near me I remember still had old box Super Nintendo games when I think it was like when like Dreamcast had just barely come out, but they had old stock and like they just had things on sale for cheap. Should have bought more of them obviously, but I bought what was there because I wanted to play it. So that leading back into what I was saying, Nintendo used to be pretty good, I think, about putting things on discount. Not even just like player's choice versions, but like putting out. I feel like I missed something. I don't know. I'll come back later. But player's choice versions. Nintendo used to be good about that. For the N64, there were plenty of player's choice games, and then even especially at the GameCube, you had like the cases that had the weird yellow spines, but they were player's choice versions. Your games that sold well enough, put them on discount so more people can get to them. I think that's a great way to be consumer friendly. But during the Wii generation, for an inexplicable reason, especially when like things there were selling like hotter than they'd probably ever sold in a while for Nintendo anyways, they kind of dropped that, and so did other companies. Like Microsoft and Sony eventually kind of brought that back. But Nintendo of all companies got kind of like hard-assed about it. Like they just stopped doing it. Like it was a weird thing for a while that like games, especially on the DS too, the games just stopped like having player's choice versions. Especially when they'd sold so many, and I just thought that was kind of weird. Like it was always nice to know, like, hey, like, you can't. Not everyone can buy every game on launch, and even if you do, you're not gonna sit and play through them all. Like, just no one has the time for that, and it's unfortunate. Even if you do have a lot of time, it's just hard to get to everything. But knowing that eventually, like, a game that sells really well might be a little cheaper in the future is like, hey, come to it later. So I think it's nice to see them kind of embracing that again on the 3DS. So all that was a massive tangent of me trying to say, hey, I want to try the second Luigi's Mansion game. I heard it was pretty decent. I just never got to it. But I know they're making a third one for Switch, so I don't know. We'll see. Okay, Okay, I don't think I want to go there yet. There is a room I missed for sure. This sultry, sexy dungeon music has just been distracting me the whole time, though, so... We'll get to layer 3 soon. There is a third layer here. So was there a second door here? There's. I feel like I forgot a room. That's why I'm going back. Wait, I have a map. Hold on. Let's actually try and put this to good use. No. Okay, hold on. Because I know this door I went. Did I already come through here? So I'm in that room. Oh, I think what I didn't go through was the room to the left here. Yeah, I didn't go through there. Sorry for the backtrack. I just, there's sometimes things I forget. Okay. No, I did go through here. I took the picture and then the key appeared. Oh, do I have to take photos again? Great. What's nice is that the ghosts don't really, I think, hurt you when you... There you go, yeah, now you just gotta pop back out. Okay, anyway, enough for that sidetrack. Yeah, 3DS, good stuff. And Switch is good stuff too. Not a big fan of Heather handling the online stuff, but it's pretty decent. Man, everything is good stuff lately. Can't really complain about video games on any front. Not that I try to complain about video games much these days, but... everyone is generally happy all around, I want to say. Well, maybe that's a broad statement to make, but I feel like there's a lot to be happy about in terms of game quality these days. Anyone who says so otherwise, it's just like there's so much variety and good stuff out there nowadays. It's great. All right, where are we at? So I can go use my handy dandy map once again. I'm gonna try and go this way first. There's a really cool room in here I want to get to, and I think it might be this way. Get out of the bloody water, first of all. Or at least the water that hurts you in this dungeon. I think... Is this the room? No, this isn't the room. Also, speaking of little Darumas on the floor, remember earlier in the first dungeon how for those of you who've been here for a good amount of the time, which, you know, hopefully you have been, I was talking about theming in the dungeon, or at least not especially theming, but I kept pointing out, hey, like, there's a giant rock golem in the castle. Keep an eye on that. Like, all these weird little Darumas and, like, Russian nesting dolls you see everywhere. Keep an eye out for that. Just keep that in mind for our boss we get to later. Let's see. So now we got some fortune doll. There are a lot of fortune cats in this dungeon, but there's definitely a bigger dungeon than the previous one we did. A lot bigger for sure. I think this is Silver Key. Yes. Is this the room? There's a special room I want to go to in here that... let's see. Let me go across here first. Okay, this isn't it. I'll know it when I see it, but there's a great room in here. And the reason, aside from the fact that even though I don't use Goemon's money a lot and I haven't been buying a lot of things, the reason I've been slowly collecting money too is because I know that later in the game, there's an item we need to buy that costs a significant amount of money. I think it's 800 Ryo. Let me just show you how great I am at playing jump rope. But yeah, there's an item that costs, I think 800 or 900 Ryo. We'll come to it way later, so by the time I'm like at that point in the game. Oh, this is a fun little room. So you take pictures of the floor and then, or you take a picture and then it shows you where the holes in the floor are. Nice little puzzle. Not much, but it's cool. You got the gold key, and then another extra life. Yeah, shake that ass, Ebisu. Get it. Live your life. Definitely a darker dungeon too than the first one. Very heavy use of purples and blues and just darker colors. But I think it also kind of emphasizes the fact that like this is an enemy hideout kind of dungeon and not, you know, a castle that was invaded sort of thing going on. And our goal is to get over there. Okay, actually, no, I don't want to swim over there because then you'll take damage once you're in the water. Screw it. So much for not taking damage. It's okay. There was a gold dumpling right there for a reason. And then, bam. There we go. I think at some point we even get a diamond key in here. Not that it makes much of a difference. They're all just different keys, but gotta use them in the right scenarios. Ah, there's a room I want to get to. There's a really cool room. It's not a super special puzzle or anything. It's just a fun room. I think we're coming up on it. I know I'm hyping this room up, so it better be a good room, right? Let's do it here. Yes, here we go. One, because the music just fucking cranks up in here. Look, we're playing pool now. Fuck it, right? Just be careful of the balls. So you gotta hit all the balls and get the reward in this room. Like, just look how wild this is. It's just like all of a sudden, like, oh, we're just done, and now we're just in a giant pool table. I think Goemon makes this a little easier to do, actually, but I'm going to stick with Ebisu because he's our boy for this dungeon. Yeah. Man, I am terrible at pool in real life. Like, shouts out to anyone who can actually play pool and school people at it. Someone teach me. I know it's just physics, but hey. Just listen to those sick layers down, though. Where's that 8-ball? I'm gonna wait till it will not come in my camera. Aha! Amazing. What a fun ass room. There it is. That's the one I wanted. I'm satisfied now. Everyone go home. We played a nice game of pool. Oh no, cool. It's such a fun room. What is this? Hold on a second. And then the ball will just go back. I don't think you get anything for it, but I love that you just, oh, you want to do it. It's like, yeah, pool table. One of the many standouts from the game. I forget if there's another door over here, which is what I'm coming back for. The Dharma head. Oh, okay. There's a key over there. That's why. But yeah, just now you can feel the whole song. Just think back to when we first walked in the dungeon when it was just like that bass line running in the background, and we were like, there were no lights on, the power was out, we saw the ghosts, but now it's like we powered up, things are cranking now. It's such a good bit of progression. I love it. Ooh, I am taking hard hits in this water. I've actually taken a lot of hits. Probably not be so careful. I think the pool ball is what would hurt me. Oof. There we go. Got some help from those ghosties. I like his scared little saunter walk there. Alright, this one will save us. There we go. And sometimes it's good to be very patient with the camera, even if you take a hit like that. Better to adjust and not risk that sidestep on the controller while the camera adjusts with you. And yeah, there we go, diamond key. Really nothing too special about it, just a fancier key for fancier doors. I'm just gonna keep talking about it. Every time I just hear the layered music, it's especially in this dungeon and the third dungeon is when it really just like, man, these tracks I'll just go. Like when you even look up the soundtrack for this game, like the OST, they give you like each soundtrack. It gives you the original, like just the bass line, and then like the second layer, and then the third layered version. It's really nice. I don't know if anyone's ever done like a loop together version of all three of them, but it's really solid. It's really strong. So this is giving us a hint for the boss. Find the Darumanyo's weak point using the wind-up camera. So again, using your in-dungeon item for bosses. Very much a Zelda trope, as it were. Then shh. Get ready for, again, boss music that's just extremely stronger than the first boss track. Like, just, this is where it gets hype. Yeah, surrender robot Darumanyo. Alright, so first, like the sign told us to do, gotta be careful. Again, you have fixed perspective, but you actually have to move around the room this time. So then now we've revealed its weak point. Gotta ghost bust this thing. So is this even real or is it just a robot? Who knows? You gotta keep running or else you're gonna get shot by its missiles. You gotta be careful too, because when you run in, then it's gonna stab you. And yeah, I could use Goemon, but we're gonna stick hard to Ebisu here, because he's our boy. Like this boss fight music, some of my favorite. I think it's super strong. Oh man, why is he getting hit by all those? It really just fits with like the overall, generally like funky themes of this dungeon's music so far. The first Oedo Castle, that music always stands out to me because that's the stuff I remember from, like I said before, when I would play this as a kid, and then I'd get through the dungeon, I'd get through that whole first segment up to the first impact battle, and then be like, oh okay, you know, I remember this, but then, like, eventually, when I started playing the game and had a memory card, I got to this and I was like, damn, this just gets like way better. Not even just, you know, design-wise, but music-wise. Like, it just ramps up. Ooh, I wonder how many hits this guy takes. There we go, got him. Yeah. That's a fun boss. Not too hard, but it's fun how you get to use your items from in game. Ooh, and then we finally get another miracle item, as they're called. Miracle flower. Ooh. Oh no. So this guy, this was actually Colin. It wasn't our little robot friend. He's just furious. Boo-hoo, he beat me up. Wait, they were just trying to teach the kids to dance? I don't know about that. Uh-oh, big man. And he's on a projector too, he's not even here. Colin, your plan didn't work, did it? Who in the world are you? I'm the leader of the Peach Mountain Shogans. In the fresh spring breeze, sha-la-la, I come alive. These beautiful visions appear before my eyes. I am the one they call Spring Breeze Dancin'. Yes, that is one of our antagonists, a man named Dancin'. Yeah, what an intro indeed. What's your face, dancing or something? Or whatever? What do you have up your sleeves? My sleeves? You mean, like my armpits? Oh my god. Pretty sharp, Antonio. You caught on to my joke. Antonio? Who's Antonio? Sure, Dancin' will choose a name for you himself if he feels it suits the person. You can't just... Colon, we're done with this place. God. I think the the apostrophe is 100% part of his name. Bye for now, Fernandez. We shall meet again. Wait a minute. Who's Fernandez? He was looking at you when he said it. God, this is stupid. I would not let you get in the way of our great stage plan. Yeah, okay, Mr. Colon. What's a gorilla Oh my god. It's not what I said. It's the great stage plan. God, this is the part where it's like, man, I would have loved terrible voice acting for this, from like this era to be in this game, but it's like, even with the laugh track, it's so good. Anyway, don't come to the Chigoku region no matter what. In that area, I'm definitely gonna go to. Oh no, he's getting away again. He's spitting himself. Yes, but first, we must focus on getting to Chigoku. Ugh. Well, there you go. No, those cutscenes get better and better as the game goes along. Just wait till we meet our mystery woman next, on our next time. And yeah, we're out of here. So, let's see, I'll save the game again. That's the second dungeon. That's 2 of 4 with plenty more to do in the middle. But, let's see, so the game isn't saved. There's one more thing I want to do, but then I think we'll start to wrap up for the night, because that's about what I was aiming. So ideally, I should be able to do this whole game within the week, like I was saying. We did a pretty significant amount tonight. So earlier, how we did the dungeon, then we did the impact fight. Unfortunately, there's not an impact fight after this dungeon. That would be a great place to end off on, a second impact fight, right? It's like, while that was a much more complex and, you know, longer dungeon with, you know, even better music, unfortunately, there's not much else. Not much else to do here. A much more intense segment getting to the coffee shop as well. But, or excuse me, getting to the hot springs. But, okay, let's see. Let's go back to Zazentown, as is per normal at this point. But yeah, so that's what I meant earlier. But the beginning of the game is a little front-loaded, because you do all that, you do the dungeon, then you hype up to the impact fight, and you don't get another impact fight for quite a while, actually. No giant robots. Not all of the gang members are blessed with giant robots, and that's, I don't know if that's like a status thing or that's just whatever. But hey, we'll figure it out, I guess. Yeah, not enough robots, honestly. The second game has, or excuse me, the second N64 game has quite a few more robot fights. There's a good handful more. Like, every other dungeon is a robot fight. Like, the first whole dungeon in that game is, like, Impact, your robot is going haywire because they put, like, a mind control device on him, and you have to fight him on top of his head, and then you do a robot fight. It's crazy. There's also a weird 2-player mode where you swap out, and there's a female robot who's, like, his waifu, and well, okay, I need to show that game at some point. The thing about that game, though, is that game, aside from it being a little different, like, I can get through the difficulty spike, but that game always makes me sad because there's, there is a... Okay, let me see. I need to go to Chigoku. I know where that is. Well, this game, how it had its big, like, long anime opening, that was very, like, intense and, like, super, like, yeah. Oh, fun fact, by the way, the anime-ish, like, opening and then, like, the Impact theme song, the singer who did that, same guy who did the singer for the original, like, Dragon Ball Z opening, Hironobu Kageyama, is definitely him. So it's super hype already. But he did the opening for the second game, and the track is called, like, Smile Again, and it's probably one of my favorite, like, hype tracks for a game. Wait, okay, I finally got back from the Flight Gang's place in Shikoku region. There's no place like home. Who closed that door? It was me. Safety stopper system I built. Man, this kid's just wild. Without a battery, so the door barely opens. Right, so... Okay, there we go. Yeah. Now this is Shigoku. We're gonna head back and save. I wanted to make sure there was nothing else I needed to do before I opened that door. I think at this point, we actually might be kind of safe. So let me go up and heal. I want to show off another one of the in cutscenes too before we call it for the night. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the second game, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was cartridge limitations or something else, but the sick anime opening, like one of the most iconic parts of this game, is just not in the second N64 game when they brought it over, and I don't know why. It actually makes me rather disappointed, like to the point that I don't know, like I still want to play through that game, and I'd like to show it off at some point, especially with how much fun I'm having with this so far. But we'll see. I think what I could do now, though, because of how my setup is, I could probably get it to where I could show off my desktop screen, so set everything up so like you guys can see like a YouTube box, and I can just show off the intro before we play that game. So maybe we can do this some point. But anyway, spend the night. I'll stay at the inn. Let's stay at one of the lower class rooms and just see what things look like. There you go. Much more chill. Anyway, let's see. We'll adventure diary now, because save all the time. Whew, okay, but I think that's probably where I'm gonna call it for tonight. I think that's a good bit of progress. We've had a solid stream all night. I think everything has been pretty hunky-dory this far. So anyway, it is Tuesday, so no fear, I will be back. Let's see, I'm trying to stream again on Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll make some more progress in the game. Hopefully get through another one of the bigger dungeons coming up, and set things up for the final stream, which would either come Friday or Saturday. A friend of mine who has been out of the country for a couple years at this point now is back in town for a few weeks, and a group of friends were trying to go hang out with him either Friday or Saturday. So I will keep y'all updated on stream times for them. But anyway, everyone have a lovely Tuesday evening. Enjoy the rest of your weeks. Stay beautiful, stay lovely, stay positive, and thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good night, take it easy, and I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.